Hey, baby.
Thank you for having me.
Good morning and welcome to a nice, beautiful autumn. Yeah, it's autumn. That time of the year when the leaves start to fall and then they change and they turn all pretty on us. I love it. Now, they'll turn all pretty and then it'll rain and they'll all come off. Oh, dear. That's negative, isn't it? No, it's absolutely beautiful time of the year in the Queen City surrounding areas. As a matter of fact, I'm headed to the hills uh, Tuesday morning, I believe, early Tuesday morning, because we want to get up there early and go see see the sights in the hills, and the sights in the hills are nature. I'm looking forward. I've been busy, real busy here lately. A lot of things going on. Good stuff, but it definitely keeps you busy and preoccupied with stuff. What's next? Let's get it done. Anyways, very busy time. And that's a beautiful thing. The fact that I can alone is a beautiful thing. But I'm gonna head to the hills and see what's available with nature and ground myself and get away from the screens, the phone, take a phone break, take a screen break, just take a break. Really, just hug a tree, get my feet wet in the cold water, and just enjoy the sights and the sounds of Mama Nature and God and what it has to offer. I'm looking really forward to it. Every year this time, me and my friend Mary, we head out somewhere every year for the past 5, 6, 7 years. I can't. Every year we take a trip somewhere around the fall to see what nature has to give us in the change of seasons, because it's certainly a glorious time. Weather's great. Going to be down in the low 40s. Wow. Beautiful weather in the hills, North Carolina. Looking forward to it. Uh, Welcome, my guest today, Ryan Steele. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here.
How'd I meet you?
We met at a NARI meeting. I did a presentation about ReCoat Revolution, my business.
You were a new member.
I am a new member as of this year. That's right.
Can I ask you why or how'd you go to Neri?
Yeah.
How'd that happen?
I went to a meeting at the Charlotte Home Builders Association.
Yeah, HBA.
Okay. And my business is in restoration. And I go to the HBA meeting and I'm talking to a bunch of new builders. And everything's new build, and I am restore, preserve. So
you're definitely in the wrong room.
I felt like I was in the wrong room. And so as I'm walking, I went back to the lady at the front who was checking everybody in, and I said, "Hey, my profession is restoration and preservation. This looks like new build. Do you have any? Is there a certain person I should be talking to in here?" She says, "No, it's not so much a person, but I think you're in the wrong room."
Market.
Type of answer. She
Demographics.
said, "Have you heard of NARI?" I said, "I haven't." She said, "Well, here's the information. You need to check them out." So that's how I got introduced to it, and then I played in a golf tournament with another guy who was a NARI guy.
Right, sure.
Yeah, and then
that's old Sycamore.
Yeah,
yeah.
CD Turner is his name, and so
CD, yes,
CD, yep,
yep.
So
dumpster
was my,
people.
That's right. That was my intro into
Lavia. What's the name of it?
Vavia.
Vavia. Yeah, I've tried to get CD on the show, but I can't pin him down.
He's tough.
Tried 2 or 3 times, but he just won't be in. Yeah, but that's okay.
He's a busy fella. He shows up to the golf tournaments about 2 minutes before shotgun.
If you're ever in this industry and you do good work, you'll be busy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the nature of the beast. And that's the thing that I tout all the time around Put Tools in Schools and tell kids, in your background, for example, I don't know you. See, I don't really know you, but you showed up at a NARI meeting, which tells me something about you. Because most people that literally join and invest because it costs money and it costs you time and involvement, and anybody that shows up and wants to play NARI exemplifies professionalism, because you couldn't have joined if you weren't. That's what I like about that association in Charlotte and nationally speaking. So that qualifies you to come on the program and be a professional in the industry, even if you don't make it. Because you know what? We all don't make it in this industry for various reasons, but the ones that really work at it, are diligent about it, will be great.
Yeah.
And, and the vast majority of the time that once you learn to use tools, serve people, and it gives you a freedom, really just a freedom that you can't have in another profession in corporate America.
Yeah. And I've been there.
Well, tell me about it.
I was there
Where are
for
you
a while.
from?
I'm from the Charlotte metro area, so very top of South Carolina, a little town called York.
Been there many, many, many times. Worked on a few homes down in York over the years.
You didn't get any speeding tickets on I-77, did you? Because that's the reason a lot of people make it to York is the courthouse for those speeding tickets on 77.
That doesn't surprise me, but no, I've been fortunate not to get a lot of tickets. Although I got a ticket last month, but that's a story in itself, and we're dealing with that anyway. It wasn't for speeding. It wasn't for anything traffic violation to speak of. It was a rule that I don't like or pertain to, but I've got to play by the rules, so it's going to cost me. Stubborn, hard headed old man. So that, like I said, another
Expired
story.
tag?
Yeah,
Yeah.
4 years.
Expired tag. That was my first guess.
What made you guess that?
It got me once too. And mine wasn't too far. It was probably 2 months. I got pulled over and had no
mine's
reason
worse
why.
than that. Because, well, anyway, let's don't get into that conversation. No, no. I'm tired of all the damn rules. Yeah. That's all I can say, folks.
North Carolina has more rules than my home state of South Carolina.
And the rules, anyway. Now I know I'm hard headed and I get it, but goodness gracious. Anyway, let's get on back to square one. You're born in York.
Born in Rock Hill.
You're born in Rock Hill, but your mama went to Rock Hill to have you, so she come back to home to York.
That's right.
Am I right or wrong?
That's right. Piedmont Medical.
There you go. You got any siblings?
I have an older sister and a younger brother. I'm right in the middle.
So you're the middle too.
She's 2 years older, and my other brother's 2 years younger. I'm right in the middle.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you was raised in York, went to York County schools?
Went to York High School, that's right.
And you graduated. Then what'd you do?
And I went off to Wofford. I went to Wofford and Spartanburg.
How old are you?
43.
43. Went to Wofford.
Yeah.
What for?
I went to Wofford for 2 things, education and athletics.
What kind of education? To do what?
So
I'm sorry.
As a kid, my dream as a kid was to be an NFL quarterback. That's what I wanted to be.
You too?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard that before, Richton? Never?
Never.
A quarterback, tight end,
when
guard,
when everything
center.
Seems possible, whether in your height,
usually I hear trash collector.
Right. Okay, so your dream was to be
it was to be an NFL quarterback, and then when those dreams started.
Did you play football in high school?
I did.
Did you quarterback?
I was, yeah.
There you go, man. They pegged you, stamped you quarterback. Right? Am I right or wrong?
That's right.
Yeah, and that's good.
All you got to do is throw it a couple of times, and they're okay. We needed to see him throw a few more.
Right.
Okay, I think that might be our guy. That's the way it went when I was in middle school.
That's good. Well, you're a healthy dude. That kind of explains how you got there. You're 43. You work out. Go to the gym. I see that. So it stuck with you. That's a good thing.
Well, here's one thing that really stuck with me is I left school at 22, graduated at 22, and my mom said, "You eat like a wild animal.
Right.
You just eat anything and everything, and at this rate, you're going to get fat.
Mm-hmm.
You are going to get fat, and you're going to be unhealthy." And I'll never forget that feeling of thinking, "No, well, not me." No, I won't get fat. So I kind of made it my life's purpose after I left the world of athletics to make sure that I stayed fit, but did not get, out of shape.
All right. I got to go back here. You went to Wofford.
Mm-hmm.
You played football?
I did.
At Wofford?
I did.
Awesome. How'd you do? See, I don't keep those sports right. I'm sorry. I am not.
Fox Sports Charlotte.
We do not do sports much here. We're doing it right now. We're doing it right now. We're doing as much sports right now as we've ever.
Sports I've heard in months, Brian. On this show,
we don't talk sports much.
Well, sports were the foundation of my life for a long time.
That's awesome. I appreciate you sharing that. I really do.
Yeah. Well,
because you're one of those kids that got a scholarship.
I did. Yeah.
Got a scholarship throwing the
Yeah.
football.
Well,
That's awesome.
it's a thing I think is really good for males, and I'm only speaking from the perspective of males because I'm one myself. But
Yes,
there's a
you
lot
are.
of things that we can get in trouble doing, and if we've got a channel for our aggression and activity and our curiosity
For our manhood.
if it can be channeled into something productive, then you end up being productive, and that's what sports did for me. Football, baseball, track. That's what I did, and it was my ticket to go get an education. So when I was evaluating schools, I ended up only applying to one. I knew Wofford is where I wanted to go, and it was the best education and best athletics I could get with the scholarships I had received.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah, and it was a phenomenal experience. We actually the Wofford is because of the Carolina Panthers that Wofford elevated its division of play. It used to be a smaller division. It was like NAIA or then Division II.
Right.
And then when Jerry Richardson, the founder of the Panthers, when he built all the facilities at Wofford, they were able to elevate then up
Sure.
to the Division I AA level,
It
which is
brought
now
the
called
school up.
FCS. You got it. So it brought the school up. So it's literally because of Jerry Richardson that I went there, because Wofford was on my radar by the time I was graduating high school.
Gotcha. Well, it worked well for you, and that's
Yeah,
awesome. I
I got to meet
congratulate you
him
on that.
too.
That's good.
He gave a 21-year-old college kid five minutes of his time, and he was the nicest guy in the world.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he was very nice to me.
Good. That's super.
Yeah.
Appreciate you sharing that story. Okay, you got out of Wofford, but you still didn't answer my question. You went to school. See, this is the difference that I try to. You got a great education, but you still hadn't told me in what. Like you went to did you take football classes?
I guess they were all outdoors. Yes, I had a really deep football education while I was at Wofford.
But you see where I'm coming from?
I do. Yeah,
But you got a degree.
the degree was in
Now-
business economics.
Awesome.
Mhm.
There's the key. And that's awesome because it's about business.
Yeah.
I wish I would have done that. At least gone to school and got some courses. But see, they don't offer that in school because they don't want you to know about business.
Mm.
I don't think. At least, to me, actions speak louder than words.
Well,
Something missing here.
that's the big difference between practice and theory. They teach you a lot about theory, and then when you get into the real world, you get to do the practice, and they can often be very different.
And that ties right into what I've said here and a lot. The only time we truly learn
Is in practice.
is in application.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm a hands-on learner.
So you get out of Wofford.
Yep.
And you're playing football. Did you go get a job at the quarterback store?
I did not. Bank of America was my first employer.
Corporate America.
Corporate America.
What did you do with Bank of America?
I worked in a global, it's called GCIB, Global Corporate Investment Banking. It was in a loan syndication division. I won't go too deep into it because we want people to stay tuned in. We don't want them to change. But it was Bank of America was the big boy on the block that could give out big loans. I mean, hundreds of $1 million loans to oil companies and to big tech companies.
Well, BOA's big.
They were massive, but they didn't want to take on all the risk. So they would sell the loan or they would chop the loan up and sell it off to smaller banks so they could mitigate their risk and also give other guys a piece of the pie.
You learned more about economics, didn't you?
I learned a lot.
At BOA. All right. And how long that last?
I stayed with Bank of America for 1 year, but what I looked around, so let me back up for a minute. I'm going to answer your question.
Please.
So my father was in the field of mechanical engineering. He was in machine tools. He worked for a bunch of companies all over the Charlotte metro area. But the way that me and my dad bonded as when I was a kid was fixing my piece of junk car that I had. We bonded over projects, whether it was something doing in the house, the yard, or the car. And
I was going to ask you about your dad, and thank you so much for sharing because of the story you're telling.
Yeah,
appreciate you.
I'll make it all loop together. So, I got this foundation of hands-on application stuff, like what we were just talking about. And football and athletics and stuff gave me a chance to do even more stuff hands-on. But I tell you what, I wasn't right in corporate America, and we'll get to the details of that.
Yeah, we're going to come back and only hear the story about your dad because football is part of your dad too.
Yeah.
See, I get it. And it's lovely because he's inspired you and he's supported you through your endeavors.
Mm-hmm.
That's what fathers do.
Yep.
Is your father still with you?
He's still here, yeah.
Great man. Thank him for me.
I will.
Because
I'll see
fathers
him
are
tomorrow.
awesome. Good. More to come about your house on Fox Sports Charlotte. Download the free app, stream us live, YouTube live, About Your House Radio live. I don't know. We're just live as can be today. But FoxSportsRadioCharlotte.com on your browser. Hey, and punch a button. You'll find us. Just Google it. Google later, as Uncle Red said. We'll be back with more About Your House.
The show, go to our Facebook page, About Your House Radio. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
Mike Libretto here, inviting you to come in and experience Charlotte's best New York pizza and great Italian food at Libretto's Pizzeria. Serving Charlotte proudly since 2008, Libretto's pizzas are sure to please by the slice or grab a whole pie. Pastas, entrees, great appetizers, sandwiches, and wings. A menu to please the whole family. Dine in or takeout, available 7 days a week. Visit us online at librettospizzeria.com or call us at 704-714-1442. That's Libretto's Pizzeria. Stop in and become part of the family.
Go outside and take a look at your home. Are the gutters doing their job? The number one enemy to your home is water. Most homes are built with small, inadequate gutters and small downspouts. ABS Insulating has a division of the company that does nothing but gutter services. All gutter services: cleaning, maintaining, repair, new downspouts, replacement, and new gutters with many types available. They're a leader when it comes to gutter protection. Call ABS Insulating today, 704-821-4343 or absinsulating.com.
Hey, folks, Rhino lives in town. That's Rhino Foundation Solutions. They got the answers. If you got a problem with your foundation, crawl space, waterproofing, invasive water, driveways not level, sinking, patio sinking, sidewalk sinking, just concrete repair in general, they got you covered. It doesn't matter what it is. And Rhino Lift is a licensed foundation repair and general contractor serving the greater Charlotte area. When I say greater Charlotte area, I'm talking about greater Charlotte area, North and South Carolina, surrounding areas and beyond. There are two partners, entrepreneurs that got into the business because of their love for customer service. They got tired of hearing the stories about rip-offs and dishonesty and misdirection, what have you. So they teamed up, said, we're going to have a great company. And they're doing it. They're men of words. I love them. 980-366-2123, serving the greater Charlotte area and beyond. Foundation repair, crawl space repair, basement waterproofing, concrete repair, and more. But they're not coming to your house to sell you. They're coming out there to educate you on what your problems might be or could be or how to fix it. They've got solutions. That's Rhino Lift Foundation Solutions. That's Rhino Lift Foundation Solutions. Just check them out online, rhinofoundations.com.
Owens Chimney Systems is known for all professional chimney services since 1989, including chimney cleaning, recommended annually, chimney evaluations and inspections, any and all chimney repairs and restorations, gas fireplace and gas fire log service, furnace cleaning, cleaning out one of the most overlooked appliances in the home. Get it done right the first time. That's Owens Chimney Systems at 704-554-9595. Or you can visit us online at owenschimneysystems.com.
Have a comment or question for the show? Call us 704-227-8986. That's 704-227-8986. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back. I had to tell a story during the break. Sorry for the prolong. But you can't beat Jimmy Buffett and Alan Jackson. Yeah, 5 o'clock somewhere. Yeah, it is. Speaking of, no. Moving along. Talking to Ryan Steele with ReCoat Revolution. We'll get to ReCoat Revolution and all that. You know the story. We got to hear it all because there's always entertainment in a good story. And Ryan, I appreciate you telling yours. You're talking about your father.
Yeah.
You grew up fixing the car, bonding with your dad.
Yeah.
But you played football in your school years too. And how about your brother and sister?
Sister was in the band. She played the clarinet, and my brother, he played soccer.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very active family. Busy.
We were we were tearing the house up. As a kid, Mom asked her friends, she's like, which sport do the kids run the most in? Soccer? Okay, Ryan, you're playing soccer. We could get you out of this house.
You were an ADHD kid.
Yeah.
You were always busy.
Yeah.
That's good. You're just normal.
Well, my mom channeled it.
Normal,
she said, we're going to put this to use. You got to do something with all that energy. You're tearing my house up.
Did you talk a lot?
I actually don't remember. I think I couldn't wait.
Did you ever get in trouble for talking in class?
No, I wasn't the one who was yapping.
Okay, cool.
That wasn't me.
That tells me something. See, I got in trouble for talking. So I was... Yeah, I did. I still do. I still do. Darn it. Got a call yesterday, Ray. You got to check something. Oh, here we go again. But I work on it every day. I do. I swear I do. I just can't keep my mouth shut. I'm sorry. See, I did it again. See, there you go. I just do it.
Where were we?
Where on your daddy growing up?
Yeah. So
growing up in York, South
Carolina, my dad had the shop in the backyard, and this is where his little outlet was. My outlet was sports. My dad's outlet was the shop. He'd go back there and be gone.
Now, you told me earlier about your father. What did he do?
So he worked in the mechanical engineering field and in machine tooling. So for a while, he worked for a company that built the machines that built car parts.
I understand.
So I guess they threw a chunk of aluminum in there, and then on the other end,
did he operate that equipment?
That was when I was a kid. All I knew is he worked with them.
Because machinists,
I'm not sure how he did
machinists are, man, they're awesome. I know several that are machinists. Uncle Red, for example, he knew a lot of guys. That's incredible. The knowledge and the ability once you learn to. I mean, anyway, keep talking.
It was a place I couldn't go as a kid. I'm like, Dad, can I come to work with you?
But you wanted to go.
Oh, I wanted to. Yeah. All right.
That's awesome.
It was a hazard area.
But was he at home? You had a shop?
Oh,
tools?
yeah. So I'm out there in I go out there and work with him, all the things on the car, the things in the house. And I didn't realize it at the time, but myself and my brother particularly, and I think my sister's a pretty handy person too, but my brother and I became very handy people. And this is something I didn't realize until I got to college and found out a lot of my college teammates.
They didn't know what tools were.
They knew the difference between a flathead and a Phillips. And a lot of them, that was it.
Probably couldn't read a tape measure, but anyway.
Maybe not. That's a pet peeve of yours. But we were talking about kind of my career path, and so all of this mechanical upbringing was how I was raised, and it was something I didn't realize the value in it until later in life. Now I get off into corporate America, and I'm at Bank of America, and I realize, I don't think I want to do this. I don't feel like I fit in here. And so I had a buddy that
what was missing?
That's what I wasn't sure of. I don't think at the time, I don't think I knew. I just knew I saw a lot of misery. What I think it was well-paid misery. These guys are in the chair all day. They are well-paid, and it just seemed miserable. So
they weren't happy.
But I didn't know for me what was missing and what I needed. So I just knew I wanted something different. So I had a guy. Well,
no, keep talking.
I had a guy I went to school with. He worked at a consulting firm in Charlotte called Carlisle and Gallagher Consulting Group, and we bumped into each other on the corner of Trade and Tryon one day. And he said, "What you up to?" I told him. He said, "You ever consider doing consulting?" And explained to me, I get to work in a bunch of different fields and see a bunch of, and I work solving the problems. I worked in process optimization, fixing things, but
resource,
making money, saving money, fixing broken things was the function in these banking organizations. Right. So I went off and did that for 13 more years. And it was about solving the bank's problems. Now the thing was is these gigs all
13
lasted.
years.
They all lasted between 6 months and 18 months, roughly. So even though I worked for the same consulting firm, we were being
So
deployed.
you left BOA and went to
I left B of A and then I joined the consulting firm and they deployed us back to Bank of America and to Wells Fargo. So my employer was the consulting firm.
Gotcha.
My client, my customer was Bank of America and Wachovia at the time,
right.
who later became Wells Fargo, obviously, or was absorbed by Wells Fargo. So, but all the while, I still feel like something is missing. But what I know is then I'm kind of one of the guys who's getting paid well, but I liked fixing things. I was fixing organizations. Like I said, their fix was either we need to make more money, we need to save more money, or we need to fix our broken things. Sometimes the government comes in and said, this is all messed up. You guys need to change it. Wells Fargo got into some trouble and we helped them resolve some of their issues. So fixing was kind of in my blood and in my upbringing. And then I became a fixer in corporate America. I don't know if that's the right word to say, but
No, it's exactly what you
Yeah.
should say. Yeah.
and so I enjoyed solving problems. But then the corporate America thing kind of started weighing on my soul, and it felt like this soulless work. And it felt like the only thing that we had to look forward to was that paycheck. Like, why am I here? And then you look at your bank account and go, oh, that's why I'm here.
Can I make a summary here,
Yeah.
if I may? What was missing was happy.
Oh, no doubt.
See, this is what I talk to kids about all the time. And
I'd say fulfillment and happy kind of go
well,
together.
let me say something that happened to me is frequently. When I start talking about kids and where they're at, what's missing in our schools and everything else is how do we find happy? Because all they're taught is money.
Mm-hmm.
And you just told the
That's
story
the path I went down.
of reality that I've listened to countless times from people just like you, Ryan. Now, somebody told me this week, I had a meeting. I met some people, two fresh faces, and my passion and intensity and love for kids and their future and their happy is intense to the point of my passion sounds like I'm angry. I am. The reality is I am a little angry because of the misgivings and misdirection that we're giving our kids. You just told the story, did you not?
Yeah.
You know?
I didn't know
But
where things were
you
headed.
played right
I played
into
right into it.
and that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay because in you played by all society's status quo rules, right? But
Sure
something
did.
was missing,
No doubt.
right?
So this is I know we're kind of
No,
full
this
circle on
is
how we
what this
get
show's
into
all about.
how we get into this home services
And
working
ReCoat
with your hands.
Revolution and all.
My-
This is great. Thank you.
The fun things that I liked to do were the home projects and working with my hands. That was the fun little outlet that a lot of people don't enjoy. You know, we're building some shelving or hanging the TV or we're installing the surround sound or whatever the thing might be. Is hey, you ought to have me come over. Look, can I look at that with you? And I realized over time that was the thing I enjoyed doing the most. Even if somebody bought the piece of furniture from IKEA. Oh, I hate putting these together.
Oh, I love it.
Me too.
It's a puzzle.
You give it to me.
It's
Matter
like
of
I
fact,
had to
why don't you
hang-
drop it off at my house? I'll bring it to you on Thursday.
Right, right. I hung 2 TVs on articulating arms and everything.
Mhm.
I hung 2 in my studio. Yeah, I showed you a picture of those
Mhm.
2 TV. And that was fun.
Yeah.
It's like my son, 4 hours building a Lego pickup truck. You know, when you got it right, it's constructive, critical thinking because you got to put it all together. It's got to work, and you want to only do it once.
Do it once, do
Right?
it right.
Right?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
You know? So that's the fun in working. But you know what you did get, Ryan?
What's that?
Working with corporate America. And I hear it in your voice. And Richton can validate this because we talk. The most important thing we learn to do is what?
Make relationships.
Communicate,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
which is exactly what you just said.
Yeah.
establishing relationships. Tell me how you can establish a relationship without talking.
I don't know.
Can you do it?
I don't know. Well,
No,
no,
you can't.
no.
You can't. And you learned in corporate America beyond anything, all the above in communication was the greatest thing you learned. In
Sports
that,
does that too.
huh?
Sports does that
Oh,
too.
absolutely. All things are like that if you communicate, and you can't have a team, a successful team.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is or where it is in life without great communication and understanding and trust. And it all ties back to love and passion in what you're doing. Or why would you be doing it?
People do things for
And you got out of corporate
wrong
America
reasons
because
sometimes.
you felt something wasn't right.
Well, I didn't know what path to follow, but I knew where. And this is,
But you
it's,
weren't happy.
it's easy to see it now because I'm, hindsight being 2020,
Sure.
and my picture is kind of clear too. The thing that led me away from corporate America was the thing that I did. Right now, I'm not talking about sports because I love sports and
Oh,
golf
I know
and
you
stuff
do.
like
I
that.
understand that.
But those projects, I loved doing those where a lot of people didn't. And I started evaluating myself. Help, my job was to look at the organization and figure out what might be broken. So I said, let me aim some of this into the mirror and evaluate myself. What do we need to do to optimize? So what's important to Ryan? And that's what led me in the path of home services. And I almost did it back in 2020. I almost left corporate America in 2020.
Well, no,
Pulled the plug
you
because
left.
of COVID.
Why?
I left.
13 years.
Yeah.
When did you leave? How many years ago?
I left corporate America last year.
So last year.
Yeah.
So this is all new.
But all the work that all the woodworking I've done, all of my project passions, all that was the weekend work. That was the nights and weekends. All the woodwork activity, all the things that I was doing, that was on top of the corporate America work. And I knew in 2020 that I wanted to join in home services and be in a home services profession. So almost did it in 2020, pulled the plug because of COVID, stayed in corporate America, and at the end of 2024 was when the timing was right. Or when the patience was empty.
I got
From the
you. Are
corporate
you
America
married?
standpoint. I used to be married, not married anymore.
Okay.
I married a young lady from New York. I married, we're not married anymore. We split up about 3 years ago. So I won't go too deep into all of that, but I think I was a little more partnership oriented, and I think she kind of wanted to just check the box and be a wife. She didn't live here anymore. She moved out west, and
Life goes on.
onward and upward.
Yeah, got it. So you're a single man for 43 years old now. So you left. You're the perfect story around what I talk about a lot in finding happy. And here you are at 40 years
pursue it.
old. Here you are at 40 years old. Right on cue, kind of. Because around 40, it's about time your head's all the way out, if you get my drift, right? Right? And you found out what you want to do. Now, why ReCoat Revolution? 'Cause here you are, smart corporate America dude, educated, degree, business economics, played the game, and I love you for it. You did it. But one day you woke up and says, I'm done. Right?
Right.
Now, how did you get to ReCoat Revolution is a franchise.
That's right.
So you did some research.
I did.
I can tell. You just did some research. I might be wrong, off base here. I may be way off base. But what happened?
I did not throw the dart at the dartboard and just see which one it hit. I
didn't think you did.
What I wanted to do in the home services direction was do something that was filling a gap in the market, really, because there's a lot of folks out there doing a lot of great things. So I don't knock anybody that does something that is that a lot of other people are doing the same thing, because we need all of it. But where I was headed, was to find something that people had a need for, and there did not seem to be a service that filled that gap very well. So, floor restoration. Can we talk about that?
Oh, that's why you're here ultimately. But you got there a certain way. Now we're in the transition zone, you know. And I love it because there's no one that comes on this show without some history. We all have history, But like I said, you're here for a reason. Now you've stayed healthy and physical. You've gone to the gym to keep that going, right? So that's that energy that you got to get away, right?
I think some of that was even just maintaining sanity. I had a sedentary lifestyle during the day. I had to
Okay.
have an active lifestyle when I wasn't behind the
Okay,
keyboard.
gotcha. All right, so here you are. Tell me a story about ReCoat. I want to know how
Yeah.
you got into. Now, I hear your story about finding a niche, and that's kind of what you said. You wanted a niche. And by the way, did you know there's like 3 or 4 companies that have done the same thing you've done over the past 20 years in Charlotte?
I did not.
Yeah, I know. I
All
didn't
right.
think you knew.
The same thing? Well, we'll get into some
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
Kind of, but y'all's methodologies might be a little different or
Okay.
whatever, but the concept, the niche in the market
Mhm.
was the same because the number one flooring sold in the Charlotte metro area is what?
It's wood.
Wood. You got it. Hardwoods,
It's wood.
typically. Hardwoods, because people love them some trees.
It looks good.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wood floors are unbelievable. And Charlotte's full. There's more wood floors than people are even aware of because under your carpet, you might have wood floors, right?
Quarter red oak. It's everywhere.
Yeah, it is everywhere. So you picked a niche. Okay, then why ReCoat?
I picked ReCoat. The gap in the market that we saw was with engineered wood being a thing that people believe.
Let's talk about engineered wood though. See, people don't. You say engineered wood like it's common. Everybody knows what it is.
Fair enough. So we got different types of wood. And another thing, I feel like we say hardwood when we're talking about floors, even if it's a softer type of wood,
Exactly.
or if it's actually a dense.
I just like to say wood
hardwood.
floors.
Yeah, that's what I say too.
Wood floors.
That's what I say too. And I'll actually say solid wood. Are they solid wood?
Right.
Are they engineered or laminated, layered wood? Because I just try to describe it to folks who may not know those terms. Engineered.
Where'd you learn that?
Just through the profession, through making mistakes.
But you played with wood growing up.
Oh, yeah. Well,
But
it
you
was
said
solid wood.
but you learned veneers in cabinet making and stuff like birch plywood.
Hey.
Birch plywood got itty bitty film on it.
It
It's
is
birch.
paper. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Ornate paper.
But you learned that growing up in your endeavors with your projects.
Yeah.
Am I right or wrong?
Yeah. Well, so
because you just wouldn't jump on the wood unless you knew something about wood.
Oh yeah. Well, and I never did anything really with laminate other than plywood,
Right.
which kind of doesn't. It's not the same thing, but it's engineered wood. It is constructed, was built by man.
Sure.
But I guess we'll dig more into that in just a little bit, won't we?
You pick up on this radio thing pretty good, didn't he, Richard? He heard the first note and said, "We got a break coming." I know you had it going on, man. I love it. Ryan Steele with ReCoat Revolution telling his story about, how he got where he's at 43 years old. Good story. Great story. Thank you.
More to come.
More to come. Yes, sir. Tune us in every Saturday, and soon to come, we're going to be broadcasting on Fox Sports Charlotte, but it will be recorded Tuesday prior in the new studio we're going to, and I appreciate everybody. And I want to talk about some support, some great things about what you do, what I've done, because I've done what you do, and all we do is serve people, right?
That's right.
Pretty much. And we start by communicating. So come on back. Well, let's communicate. We'll be here.
Find out more about the show? Go to our Facebook page, About Your House Radio. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
There's big news in the Carolinas. Queen City Audio, Video, and Appliances is now Queen City Home Store. For over 70 years, we've been your trusted retailer for appliances, electronics, and more. Now, we're taking it to the next level with a new name, a fresh look, and more ways to serve you. Offering the same outstanding service you've always counted on, while bringing you everything you need for your home. Queen City Home Store. Same great service, more possibilities. Visit us at queencityonline.com.
What's up, everyone? This is Jenna with Crown Town Cannabis, Charlotte's first dispensary. Now, if you're looking to get into gardening and not the kind where you get your hands dirty, you need to come and check us out at any of our multiple stores across the state of North Carolina. We have everything in there to get you started on your gardening journey, and a team full of educated staff that'll help walk you through the different products and what you can do with them. Now, if you don't have the time to get into the store, check us out at cltcbd.com for a full range of products and descriptions on how to get your gardening journey started.
Let's face it, we do not like bugs, and especially spiders and ants. Unwanted pests in the home are not only creepy, they can also spread sickness and cause significant damage to the structural integrity of our homes. Kilo Exterminating has been taking care of pest control problems in the Charlotte area for over 70 years with award-winning customer service. Moisture readings are standard with all crawl space inspection. Call Kilo Exterminating at the first sign of infestation, 704-333-9855, or online at kilo.biz. Again, that's 704-333-9855.
Hi, I'm Sam Otero of AteroMedia.com. Someone asked me once what I loved most about my 30-year-long career as a media producer and educator, and I have to say the fact that not only do I get to create for a living every day, but then I get to teach and help others to use the content and gear systems that I've built for them themselves. Do you need professional live event video production or streaming services? You're in great hands with our family business. All 5-star Google reviews. That's ETTARO Media.com.
Have a comment or question for the show? Call us 704-227-8986. That's 704-227-8986. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back. Talking to Ryan Steele on his journey to ReCoat Revolution in hardwoods. And we were talking about what? Do you remember?
Where do we leave off? We were talking since the break. I got sidetracked.
Yeah, it happens, doesn't it? No, we're talking about your love for wood.
Yeah, that might happen more again. You might need to reel it back in.
Why?
Steer me.
I don't reel.
We can go off in a direction. And
like, oh, man, I take left turns all the time. We going, hup, hup, hup. We got to stop. Take a left-hand turn. Yeah, we do that a lot here. But we're talking about your upbringing and how it related to ReCoat Revolution and what you're doing with wood. You picked the demographics and you did some research. And then why ReCoat Revolution franchise?
So what ReCoat's function is you keeping your floors. It is about restoration and preservation of your floors. So much of so much of people's perception of quote unquote redoing the floors, I bet the majority of people listening to this right now are thinking sanding.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
thinking sanding and refinishing. So if you say I'm doing the floors or redoing the floors, people think sanding. And while that's the traditional method of restoration, there are modern restoration techniques that don't require sanding. So there's so many jobs that don't require sanding. Now, we talked a little bit about the engineered wood or the laminated stacked wood that has a veneer on top. So many of the homes that are being built, not just in Charlotte, but all over the country, have engineered laminated wood that's in. And now when you walk in, you may not know it, but a lot of times that's not solid wood. A lot of times it is solid wood, but not all the time is it solid wood. Can you sand that if you wanted to? Now,
Some you can, some you
some
can't.
you can, some you can't. Depends on the thickness of that veneer. You get 3 millimeters up there, you might be able to, but the one we were just talking about earlier, no, no. A lot of them you can't.
Even at that, and I got to throw this in there because I've been involved with a lot of wood floors through the years. I've screwed up one or two too.
Yeah,
I learned the hard way.
you're human.
Yep. But when you find a floor finisher, all floor finishers are not created equal. To operate a drum sander, a really good drum sander, takes expertise beyond your wildest dreams because they'll mess up a floor in a Mississippi minute.
Yeah.
And they do, because I have. Now, that doesn't, because I didn't know any better. And that's the story. How do you learn? Practice, practice, practice. Okay, so you saw the need here.
Yeah, the need, the gap in the market basically was the fact even if you have solid wood floors, a lot of times you get scratches, you get mileage on the floors.
Sure you do.
You just get mileage. People wear through the finish. It starts to look gray over in that spot right in front of the kitchen sink.
I was thinking exactly what you just said. I said right in front of the sink or the range.
Heading into the bathroom.
Yeah.
But the mileage that you get from those, particularly the kitchen, because you're doing a lot of standing and shuffling and moving around.
That's the heartbeat of the house.
Absolutely. So kitchens particularly, you might have solid wood. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But do you need to go in and sand the whole dang house because you've got mileage on those areas? And the answer might be yes, but there's a lot of times the answer is no, it doesn't need to be sanded, but you still want to restore the floors. You want to basically, you want to restore the floors so that mileage you wind the clock back and make those floors look new. And what ReCoat's function is about restoring that doesn't require sanding. Now, the thing is, sometimes we get into a project where there's sanding on a room over there because that was a kid's playroom and he dropped all his big trucks and toys out, and they're big gouges. You can't get gouges out with you got to sand those.
Right.
Now,
and even sanding gouges out, sometimes a gouge is too deep. You can't go that deep or you're going to start hitting nails.
It can be bad. That's right. That's right. You don't want to get past that.
Oh, I've seen some old ones where the nails start showing up. And now you say, what nails he talking about? That floor is nailed down with case hard nails or these air gun pneumatic nails.
So restoring that doesn't require sanding, there's so many of those type of jobs out there. But when you just think of redoing the floors, so many times, let's talk about nails for a second. If you're a hammer, all jobs look like nails. and I'm not knocking the sanders out there, because the sanders, and so they'll come into a house and go, yeah, we need to sand. Well, they can sand and they can do a good job for you. But then do you need to? And the problem with sanding is a lot of people out there know is the amount of time that your house is disrupted, the amount of dust and dirt.
Let's talk about that word, disrupted.
And I'm not knocking.
Well, no. Look, this is the reality, right? This is why you're here, because we're just talking about one big market of floors. Floor Coverings International, Southeast Charlotte's one of the sponsors. And their what they sell more of is wood type floors. Be it LVP, it looks like wood. Okay, it's wood. It's not wood, but it looks like wood. Okay, but my point here is flooring is a big part of home improvement. No question. We're talking about it. But to refinish a floor, There's two things that I put, because I've done it all. The two messiest jobs in home restoration and repair are finishing floors and removing textured ceilings. Those are the two messiest jobs you can possibly do. And I might be wrong, other than tearing the dang house apart and rebuilding it, putting up new drywall and everything else. I mean, but as far as tasks and projects, there's nothing any messier than sanding floors. Because one, you got to move all the furniture out.
Mm-hmm.
Room's got to be empty.
Yep.
It's empty. Then you gotta store it. You got to take care of it. You got to handle it. And not only then you got to come in and sand the floors, and it takes, depending on the methodology, if you're going to put poly down or acrylic down. Now, what's the difference in poly? Polyurethane is your naturally old, go-to, down and dirty floor coating. 3 coats. I think 3 coats. Okay, that's just me. Okay, that's 3 days, right?
You're doing the oil base. That's right.
Yeah, 3 days, and then it took them 2 to sand the floors.
Mm-hmm.
So you got a 5-day a week.
Well, you got to move out the day before that, and you got to move back in the day after. So the disruption adds another day on the front and back.
So this is actually one of the most invasive projects you can do in a house.
Yes. And that's why a lot of people will do it once and may go, you know what, we're not doing that again. Floors look good, but the disruption to the house, the disruption to the relationship, the husband and wife, the kids. If you're going on vacation that
stress.
Yeah.
And you really got to plan that one.
Yeah.
You're out of the house. The whole family's disrupted, displaced. So anyway, it is what it is. But to do your job, you still sometimes have to remove it in the room.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Now, how we deal with the furniture situation is on a case-by-case basis. Sometimes we might be just doing a room, like the living room, or we might be doing the kitchen. A lot of times we're doing the whole house, especially on real estate transactions.
But you do it room by room.
Well, it may just be we're taking everything on the east side of the house and moving it to the west and then flipping it.
Gotcha.
Do the other side.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Or moving everything to the garage.
Gotcha.
Or throw a dumpster, throw a pod in the front yard
or a container
and just
or
put it in the container. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's ways to do it.
Things. Yep. So we'll coordinate that with the homeowner and restore based on whatever works, based on their schedule and the scope of the job.
Well, you've got a little bit more flexibility is what you're saying.
Yeah. And people can get in there faster without dealing with the smell. So we do use water-based products.
Oh, you're acrylic. Yeah. We were going there.
Or we do it poly, but it's water-based.
Well, I understand. Technology's come a long way. That's another reason I wanted to hear, because I know the acrylic or, water-based finishes have come tremendous.
Come a long way.
Come a long way.
Yeah.
I remember them coming on the market, and I was actually, the acrylic binders came on the market many years before the actual poly. It's just one thing about being old, you get to see this technology being implemented over a period of time. But so how many coats do y'all get on?
Depends on the job. If it's a sand job, because sometimes there's a sand function required, and that's 3 coats. That's 3 coats. Sometimes the ReCoat function that does not require sanding. And we'll get into the details of when it makes sense to do what. But sometimes the ReCoat function is 2, and sometimes it's 1. Sometimes it's 1. But it just depends. It depends on the scope of the job. What's the damage? What's the condition of the floor?
Sure.
What type of restoration is needed? It's all relative. Yeah, that's right.
That's awesome. More to come. Talking to Ryan Steele, the ReCoat Revolution Hardwood Floors. And I want to take a minute to just reflect on one of the things that what a great gift this profession that we're in, home improvement, restoration, you call it home services, have given me. And it really came to light this week, and I'll tell you the story when we get back. And more from ReCoat Revolution, Ryan Steele, about his journey that he's just embarked upon. Good story. Good stuff. Come back. Hour 2 coming up. all about money.
Grab another cup of coffee and join us for hour number 2. Ryan Steele, owner of ReCoat Revolution, continues his conversation with Ray, talking more about his business and the services that they offer. About Your House is brought to you in part by PutToolsInSchools.org, connecting students to tools of the trades and raising awareness of the many career pathways. About Your House is also brought to you in part by Queen City Home Store. Queen City Home Store is a family-owned store serving the Carolinas for over 70 years. They're the largest independent appliance retailer in the Carolinas, constantly growing and taking pride in the experience that they offer customers with a knowledgeable sales staff, product selection, and lowest price guarantee. And now, here's your host, Ray Terry.
All right, welcome back. And I'm glad you shared that. Ryan and I are having a discussion about home show coming up. We'll talk about that. But right now, I want to share something that talking about left-hand turns. I'm going to interject this little tidbit here. I've spent 55 years in the home improvement business, or construction and home improvement business. I spent my first years were in multifamily construction, apartment building. Imagine that in Charlotte. But this was back in the early 70s. And I started my career. Well, since then, when I was 23, I opened a home improvement business called, I can't remember Terry's Contracting Services. And since then, I have remodeled, improved, worked with hundreds, if not thousands of people in the home improvement industry. And through the years, I mean, I've got some age on me now. Luckily, I've still got pretty good health, in pretty good shape, and I love doing it. But looking back on the career, and we've hit on it today with Ryan Steele, and the number one thing we do is work with people. Everything I've done in my life has been around people. And what I've seen, the change in people, the change in the whole atmosphere around communication and everything is just incredible. But one thing remains to be true. It's all about people and our relationships with people. This week, I had I'd call it honor. I remodeled a kitchen, and I've met so many people on this here radio or behind the microphone every Saturday for many, many years. And just been fortunate to do that, although I paid the price, and it's been worth every penny that I've invested in it. because of the rewards that I've gotten from people and the relationships with those people. And many of them, I have no idea who they are because I've been on the radio. And that was expressed to me 3 times this week in various ways of what the information, just such as yours, Ryan, has meant to certain listeners and how it's affected their lives. And I'm grateful, and I'm just I live in gratitude for all those experiences. And I live for that purpose, to help people. That's what I've done my whole career. Help people find answers, find resources, and help people with various problems. Well, this week I had the honor of working with a customer that I remodeled their kitchen in the mid 90s. And they called me up, and like many of my other customers, they aged in place in that house. And her husband, who was a retired dentist, had stepped through the garage ceiling.
Mm.
Not completely. He didn't go through, but he cracked it
leg.
real bad and pushed it down. And they wanted somebody to fix it, repair it. So I said, would you mind me doing it? They said, no, we'd be honored if you did it. So I went over and spent about 4 hours yesterday patching that ceiling. Now, like that family, and I was in that house when their kids were in high school. And I had the honor of talking to one of their kids that was ADHD and tell him he wasn't a bad guy after all, that he really was very talented and creative. And we sat down and had a long talk, and there again, communicating with people. And it's just been a great joy and a pleasure to have done all that and meet all the people that I've met and helped age in place and beyond. And the older I get, the more we lose people. They die. We all pass. None of us are getting out of here alive. And yesterday I went and just stopped in an old friend of mine, Faye Hodges. She's one of the few left that go way back with my career that I met early on. We talk about NARI. Well, mine was my first professional organization was the NKBA, the National Kitchen and Bath Association. I was young and dumb, but I wanted to be as good as I could be. So I reached out when I was 23, found my love for kitchens and design. I always loved design work because I took drafting in high school, and I loved art, and I love creating, and as you do. We all do, because God gave us that. And I just got in touch with it early in my life, and I've just enjoyed the heck out of creating and helping people come up with solutions, dreams, build them, make them happen. And now I want to share it and give all I can back. And I'm passionate about that. But the passion we all have, if you're really passionate, it frightens the heck out of people. Because you're passionate. Sounds like anger. And someone called me down about that this week, and I have to admit, yep, it does sound like I'm angry sometimes. And for that, I'm not going to apologize. I'm just going to work on my passion. Try to keep my intensity level down a notch or two. But believe me, it's hard for me to do, just like it's hard for you not to wiggle.
Oh, I'm a wiggler.
Your ADHD is what men are supposed to be.
I don't sit still very well.
I don't either. That's why I'm always doing something. I've become more sedentary in my older age, but but now it seems like I got to rev up again because there's work to be done. I want to continue to help people, but most of all, inspire people to be happy and service filled, purpose driven. And you're there, aren't you?
That's where I'm at.
How's it feel?
I'll give you an example of yesterday. So did a job on Wednesday. Homeowners moving into their new home, and they're in Charleston. They're moving back up to Charlotte. They used to live here. So I go to see them yesterday, and to pick up the check, and I go see them, and the guy, he says, "You're Ryan? Hey, you made my wife smile. You know how hard it is to make my wife smile?
I love this. This is great.
Thank you for making my wife smile." And I gave her a hug, and it was just like, I'm glad you're pleased. I am so glad you're happy. And then, so for that kind of thing, of course, not all of them are like that, right? They don't all go as dramatically as that one did, but
if you
it's
do,
just,
if you're
it's
your
so nice
best,
when that happens.
but if you're the best version of you can be, it'll happen more times.
Oh yeah. Well, maybe they're doing it on the inside, but at least this guy's like, "Hey, you made my wife smile. Thank you."
Well, and thank you for sharing that story, because but then that look at
I
you
love
right
it.
now. You love it right now. You're
I love that.
smiling, glowing.
Well, you know where you never get this? Corporate America. That never happens in corporate America. You get,
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Amen, brother.
But another part of it too is I think there's a lot of satisfaction, as I think a lot of men can probably relate to the visual satisfaction you get from a job well done. Like, you finish the job, look back at it at the job and go, you wipe the brow and go, "That looks good."
Well,
I'm proud of that.
It happened to me yesterday. I had finished the ceiling. Now they're getting ready to sell the house. They don't know when exactly, but they're in their 80s. Still getting up and down the steps, no problem. And yeah, they got some age on them. But what was funny, not funny, but it's the same reward is when, he comes to the back door, looks up at that, says, "Ray, that is beautiful."
Mm-hmm.
It
feels good.
Yeah, that is beautiful, man.
I love making people feel that way.
Yeah, you can't. That's the rewards in working with your hands and your mind for people and the service, and you care about your work. And it's not about the money. Do you go to work for the money, or do you go to work for the joy of getting the money?
Hey, I used to be in a place that paid well and was corporate hell, and I left that to do what I wanted to do, the thing that felt right for me, and I get these rewards in all kind of ways.
Well,
just
let's
like
get back to the problem. You kept saying something's missing. Have you found it?
I'm there. Well, the thing is, I found it.
I found it. I see the light.
It took it took some reflection and, I guess, metaphorical mirror time to figure out what it was. But I needed to be working with my hands.
Sure.
And like I said, I almost did it in 2020. I almost did a disaster restoration business, fire, water, smoke, and mold.
Oh, a lot of that going on.
Oh my goodness. And it's basically about as recession proof as something could be, I feel like,
Yeah, but you got to tie in with corporate America a lot.
Yeah,
big time. You got to play by all them rules.
And I would have been in a big organization. So anyway, but obviously didn't.
Well, I know about the restoration, that side. Okay, I've had them, and
you're dealing with insurance.
Sure, you're dealing with homeowners and insurance and repairing and disaster basically, and it's big market because something's always breaking.
At any given time, there's 5 houses flooding right now in Charlotte.
Yep. Water
somewhere, and it's beautiful outside.
Yep.
We don't need to have a hurricane. There's 5 right now.
Is that the rate?
Yeah.
See,
given our population right now. Yeah.
So you did that research
when? Well, I guess I'll say that research is 5 years old. I guess that was 2020.
Yeah, but it's pretty much the same.
Yeah. I would think
Charlotte,
so.
Yeah, pretty much, if not more.
Or maybe it's 6, yeah.
Yeah, maybe 6 or 7 now.
Since 2020.
All them apartments, and I know they all weren't built perfect,
Oh my gosh, they go up so fast.
They so fast and so many. Where are all them people coming from?
They're on the street driving, clogging up the roads, it feels like.
Well, do we really want to go there, right? Be born and raised in York, me born and raised in Charlotte, and say, boy, you've seen it change. I had this conversation yesterday. Talking about people. I got to tell this story. I went to the Librettos yesterday and had me some calamari. It's absolutely, it's beautiful. I love it. 30 seconds to talk. About what? Well, then we won't have to do a commercial here for Librettos. I'm talking about them now. But anyway.
Give that its due diligence.
Right. So I went to Librettos and I was talking to this guy. You do that at bars sometimes. And I was sitting there at the end of the day talking to this guy. And his energy this sounds wacky to a lot of people, but I looked at him and I says, "You know Chris Raker, don't you?" He looked at me and says, "How did
How'd you
you
know
know
that?"
he's my best friend?" True story. I said, "You just sound like him." Now, talking about relationships over the years, Chris Raker and I go back 35 years. And he was in the appliance repair business, Plaza Appliance Service. His brother, Steve, is running it now because Chris got upset at all the mayhem. We'll talk about that later. Chris is a great guy. But anyway, the story was, how did I know he was I didn't know he was his best friend, but I knew he knew him. And come to find, he looked at me and says, "His furniture's up in my house right now because he moved to the beach." Wow. Isn't that amazing? Small world.
Telepathy?
Something. I don't know. It's energetics, baby. Yeah, I love it. Talking to Ryan Steele from ReCoat Revolution, hardwood floors, and just life in general. A lot of good information here. Come back. Let's talk some more. Right here on About Your House.
Find out more about the show? Go to our Facebook page, About Your House Radio. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
Mike Libretto here, owner of Libretto's Pizzeria and Spinello's Pizza. I opened my first pizzeria in New York City in 2004. Not long after that, I took my passion to Charlotte, North Carolina, serving up a taste of New York City with great pizzas and authentic Italian cuisine. Come in, relax, and enjoy Libretto's Pizzeria, located off Johnson Road in the Ballantyne area. Libretto's is also home of the famous Spinello's Pizza, a 10-inch infused frozen pizza, offered in both pepperoni and plain cheese. Visit SpinellosPizza.com for more information, to find a retailer near you, or just to order for pickup at the restaurant. Libretto's Pizzeria is open 7 days a week, a great place to relax, dine in, take out, delivery, or for catering. Visit us online at Libretto'sPizzeria.com. Call us at 704-714-1442 for the best in New York pizza and Italian cuisine. That's Libretto's Pizzeria. Stop in and become part of the family.
Whether you're building new or remodeling old, let ABS Insulating make it comfortable. ABS Insulating knows the business of comfort. Using the latest products and technology, ABS offers an array of solutions, using fiberglass and spray foam, and all installed by certified technicians. ABS Insulating has been saving energy dollars with great customer service for over 30 years. They're a leader in the industry. Call them today, 704-821-4343 or absinsulating.com.
There's big news in the Carolinas. Queen City Audio, Video, and Appliances is now Queen City Home Store. For over 70 years, we've been your trusted retailer for appliances, electronics, and more. Now, we're taking it to the next level with a new name, a fresh look, and more ways to serve you, offering the same outstanding service you've always counted on, while bringing you everything you need for your home. Queen City Home Store. Same great service, more possibilities. Visit us at queencityonline.com.
Let's face it, we do not like bugs and especially spiders and ants. Unwanted pests in the home are not only creepy, they can also spread sickness and cause significant damage to the structural integrity of our homes. Kilo Exterminating has been taking care of pest control problems in the Charlotte area for over 70 years with award-winning customer service. Moisture readings are standard with all crawl space inspection. Call Kilo Exterminating at the first sign of infestation, 704-333-9855, or online at kilo.biz. Again, that's 704-333-9855.
Have a comment or question for the show? Call us 704-227-8986. That's 704-227-8986. Now, back to the show.
Hey, folks, we're talking about floor covering today, hardwood floors, wood floors in general, and they absolutely are the most popular floor in the Charlotte metro market. Well, if you're looking for new, old, refinishing, whatever, Floor Coverings International Southeast Charlotte's got you covered. And I know it says Southeast Charlotte, that's franchises for you, but they'll come to wherever you're at, be it Cornelius, Belmont, Huntersville, Lake Norman, you name it, they'll come to you. And when I say they come to you, I mean you don't have to go to them. They come to you with their showroom on wheels. Hey, give them a shout, do a little conversation, go online, fill out their form. They'll bring the showroom to you and the products that you're looking for and more. A lot of people don't know what's on the market. Give them a call. They'll tell you. They've got trained, passionate salespeople on those trucks to give you the best possible floor you want. So give them a call. Better yet, just Google them. Floor Coverings International Southeast Charlotte, and set up your appointment and see what happens. Great service, great professionalism. That's Floor Coverings International Southeast Charlotte. All right, welcome back to About Your House. Got Ron Steele in here talking ReCoat Revolution and his craft and what he does and provides for the Charlotte metro area. And what's your modus of operandi? Did I say that right? They go online, fill out a form, give you a call. How did you jumped into business? How did you start marketing? I'm just curious from a business perspective, because you definitely did some research. You were going into disaster restoration,
Yep.
but said, "Whoa."
Well, COVID pulled the plug on that one. That's
okay.
why we did. That's why we pulled the plug on that. But floor restoration came about. The objective was still working in the home. The objective was still using my mechanical background and just work preference for my profession. But as far as marketing goes, I think like everybody else, word of mouth. It was about relationships. And I'm from the Charlotte metro area, so the friends and family network is where things began. And it's about doing good jobs for them and then letting other people know about it. And then, of course, you start doing all the digital marketing, and we've got the marketing agency sending people to the website. Now, admittedly, one of the things I've got to do better is I guess at 43, I'm outside of the generation that loves posting and loves doing things on social media. So that's actually work for me. That one's tougher for me. So I got to be better.
Social media avenue?
Yeah, the social media part.
But in today's world, it's absolutely necessary.
Yes, it is.
If I didn't have to go on a computer another day in my life, I would be happy.
No.
Oh God, Like I said, I'm going to the mountains for 1 or 2, 2 nights, maybe 3, and I'm going up there to get
Get
away
off the
from
screens.
to get off of mayhem, and I call it mayhem because if you are on screens, if what's this if business? When you're on screens, it's such a distraction. It's I can't even put it in words anymore. But I'm trying to change from that screen time to productive time, hands on, you know. And like you, it takes time to do social media, and I'm changing in the fact I want to be more content. Well, where's the content going? On the screen. So I'm captive to it. I have to be captive to it. And you have to be captive to it if you're in business today. And if you can make it without it, by all means, go for it. But I don't know how.
Well, I can offload
I don't know
that.
how anymore.
Well, I don't either. But what I've done is one of my buddies, he said his daughter is a freshman at Ole Miss, and said she lives in this world and she needs some professional experience. Why don't you get her to run that for you? So I think I may go the avenue of just having her. She gets professional experience working with us. She's still in school. Her doing it is just easy. I think she could probably do the thing, assembling the post, building the content, and I review it and then she posts it. I'm sure she could do that lickety split. So that may be the path I'm going, and I'm learning all along the way.
It won't.
Maybe
I'm
developing my
this,
skill set and giving her professional
I'm
experience.
going to say this to you just out of my own experience. You cannot or will not do it all. You cannot. And, well, I'm going to give you an example. And everybody, we live in a different world from 1990. 1990, when we chartered the chapter of NARI, for example, that's when I started learning to use a computer.
Apple IIe?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, you say that, but I had bought my stepdaughter for Christmas an Apple IIe, and she didn't play with it much, and it was over there on the desk. Well, I got fired from a job, a remodeling company down in Rock Hill, and because I don't work well for too many people, but it's a problem. But we've talked a little bit about that along the way. But anyway, so I was sitting there, and we just started NARI, as a matter of fact, and I was really the executive director at that time. I stepped out of the president's position more into the administrative position with NARI on, getting things going and all that. And there was that Apple IIe. And I looked over there at that Apple IIe, Ryan, and I said, I'm going to turn that sucker on, floppy disk and all,
Mm-hmm.
And believe it or not, the first year and the first databases, all of it was developed on that Apple IIe. And then I was running, I started remodeling kitchens again. Matter of fact, I had one to do right then. And I had not finished the estimate nor the quote on it. So the Apple IIe, I learned spreadsheet applications. I learned how to estimate on it. I learned all that stuff on that Apple IIe. And
I learned how to play Oregon Trail.
There you go.
In our computer labs in school. That was my first use of the Apple IIe.
Yeah.
The Oregon Trail.
And it's hard to believe you're 43, I'm 74, but yet we've got that kind of tech connection. Isn't that something? But anyway, so then I started learning the desktop, the PC realm and estimating and construction and everything. And that was, but my point going back to 1990, this smartphone, I think we had flip phones, and that's it. And I think I still wore a pager. The technology of those days was, and plus we didn't have social media. It was non-existent. The internet pretty much non-existent.
Fun fact about the flip phone. Do you know where it got its inspiration from?
Probably a cartoon.
Star Trek.
Well, okay. TV.
Captain Kirk used to pull that thing out of his pocket and
flip it.
Yep, flip it.
Cool. But anyway, so my point to you in business, I'm executive director of puttoolsinschools.org. a nonprofit here in town. I can't anywhere come close to doing what I need to do because it's too intensive and too spread out. Between technology and setting up a podcast studio, you think I know that stuff? That's funny. You know, I can talk. I can be
You know how to use it.
and I can build the studio. I can literally build it, but I can't put the technological stuff in there. I can't. I don't know it. You know, all these little widgets and widgets and stuff that you got to
You
connect.
can build the box that goes in there.
I did. Yeah, mount them TVs, did
That
everything.
one beside you, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, I built cabinets. I've done it all that way, but you can't do it all.
No.
And but you've got team building in you through corporate America,
And
which
sports,
taught you
yep,
something,
both of
right? And if you build the right team, which I'm trying my darndest to do, but then again, I don't even want to go here because it sounds negative. I can't depend on people. OP is in this industry we work in. What we're talking about right now is OP factor, other people, OP. You know, and when you're in today's world, unfortunately, people aren't as dependable as they were in the 1990s. I don't know why. I do know why too. It's called technology. And but there again, we, you, me, everybody, we have to navigate through it.
Yeah.
You know, but if you can find, for example, my buddy, 16-year-old, to your point about she can do it, 16-year-old came over to this podcast studio. He wants to play a part. And I'm elated, celebratory about it. Oh, God, 60. He sat behind the control desk. Within 5 minutes, he had the cameras working. He had punched it in. He picking up this, that, and the other. He was further along than anybody else at 16.
I watched my 13-year-old niece do the same thing. You just give her a piece of technology in no time.
Yeah, give her
she's
direction. And now we've got AI.
Yeah.
And that's
what helps me figure out how to do it.
Yeah, right.
That's how I learned a lot of stuff.
Through AI?
Well, especially when it comes to doing any kind of comparison, just buy a new truck. What is the differences between this model and this model, engine output? And you can actually go do all that yourself and look online yourself, or you can just tell AI to do it for you, and it gives you all the answers in a minute. You know,
right. So you bought a new truck.
I did.
What'd you buy?
I got a GMC Canyon.
Oh, that when you drove in here?
AT4, yeah.
Okay, so that's your work truck.
That's the one I use. Well, I have a van.
I was going to say, ReCoat Floor's got a van.
Yeah. Well, you saw it at the NARI meeting.
I did. It's all lettered up.
Yeah.
I'm just shooting out. I'm facts out there. You can't do what you do.
Oh my gosh.
Without a van.
And thankfully, it's got a nice, pretty logo on it. It's hard to miss.
Yeah, it looks good. That's how I first met you. When I walked in the NARI meeting, I saw your truck across the street.
Saw it over there.
I said, I'm going to meet that guy.
And then I spoke.
Yeah. Then you joined NARI that night. You got to stand up and tell them who you were.
That's right. They let me in. I was in the middle of due diligence for the evaluation process for a little while.
Right. So, all right, let's get back to floors. You want to?
Yeah, let's do it.
What's the hardest floor you've done so far?
Ooh, most difficult floor I had was the planks were wide and spread apart. It was a 1/4 inch between the planks.
Ooh, that sounds like moisture somewhere.
Well, I mean, it honestly made me think, and it's an old historic home. The
Yeah,
thing is, it was built in the 70s. I thought it might have been built like
historic
in the 50s
home in 70?
It falls into the historic district. The wood of this is the information at least the homeowner gave me, is that it was from the 70s. I said, this looks like it's from 100 years ago. Because I've seen some 100-year-old floors, and you just see the space between the boards.
A lot of movement.
It's just, this home had such a giant gap in between the boards. And
were they TNG, tongue groove?
No.
They're just plank.
They were just plank. Yeah.
Wow.
They were just plank. And the other thing is what's hidden underneath the rug. So everywhere I can come in and do the estimate. We're not able to move furniture and look underneath the sofa and the rug that's underneath the sofa. So you do your best you can when you do the estimate. We get in there and pull the rug back, and it's flaking everywhere, flaking everywhere. Let me get closer to the mic. Flaking everywhere underneath the rug. So we had to figure out how are we going to get rid of all of this. The tops of the boards were a little rounded,
cupped. Or crowned.
They were crowned.
They're crowned.
They were crowned. Yeah, it wasn't cupped.
Yeah.
They were crowned. There was about an eighth to a quarter inch gap in between each board, and flaking everywhere. I had to actually go get some extra scrapers. We're scraping so much off the floor by hand that it is. I got a shaved head. I got what I call the high speed haircut.
Right.
I was wearing goggles to keep all these stuff from flaking up and hitting me.
Well,
in the
that's your
eyes.
PPE anyway. You're supposed to wear that stuff.
Goodness, and it was on top of my head. Anyway, so it became one of the hardest jobs, I think, because of the expectations. Let's go back to communication, and I said it based on what I could see when I did the estimate. Here's what I expect the workload to be like. Here's how long it's roughly going to take. And I always set an expectation.
Sure, you should.
And of course, we pull back the rug. Oh, let's talk about that. That changes the scope of this project. So our application, another thing too, is when pouring poly and when actually applying it on the floor, when you've got gaps that big,
it just goes in the gap.
It just goes down there. I say, what's underneath the house?
Wasted.
Do you have something underneath there? Because there's something's definitely going to get down there. We can't protect it. We can't keep it from going in. But if every single board, every neighbor, there's a gap in between them, there's going to be some getting down there. I had to make sure there's no basement or room or something that could be running. Point is, we had to do way more than expected. And we had to be careful because the wood was soft. So we had a lot of work. It was pine.
Yep.
Yeah. So that one I think was because expectations were different.
Well, you were, and I'm not trying to kick you, but you're a rookie.
5-star job.
You were a rookie back then, relative to that job.
To that one I was.
Did you learn anything?
Learned a lot. Well, what you do is you started going through trial and error.
That was an education process. That was a classroom that week.
No doubt.
That was your classroom.
Thankfully, homeowners they also, I think, probably maybe knew what was underneath the rug, maybe.
Right.
So when we peel the rug back, or when we get there and the rug's gone, they knew that they're like, okay, you didn't see this when you did the estimate. So thankfully we were all on the same page. Communication was good, but point is that job was much more difficult than expected.
How'd it turn out?
Phenomenal. That woman's name was Ellen, and Ellen said, here's the thing. We wanted you to do these 3 rooms. The rest of them, we were just going to say no to those. We're going to need you to come back. But you probably won't answer our phone call, will you? I said, Ellen, we know how to do it now. It took.
Heck
we're
no,
ready.
We know what
we're
doing
now. It took us a few things to know exactly how to treat your floors. When we come back, we know exactly what to do, and it won't take us long.
Right. But that was a great.
And I'm gonna bring one extra guy too. We had 2 on that job. We'll have 3 for the next one.
That's awesome. So you're out there with tools in your hand.
Absolutely. Okay, I'll tell you about another one.
Yeah.
I saw this woman the other day. She was down in Waxhaw. This couple had been in this house for 35 years, and the floors had never had any love or attention done to them, just a lot of wear. So 35 years, and she said, we lived in a house before this, and we sanded, and we're never doing that again. And again, I'm not knocking sanding, but she said for her,
you keep defending the sanding people.
I am, because it's still it's still the quality of that.
What it is.
It's pain to get in there.
Sure.
Financially and the disruption to the household, but the outcome is phenomenal. So I want to make sure people know I'm not saying sanding. So we do projects where sanding's part of the project.
Sure.
Sometimes.
Sure.
Anyway, so she said, we're not doing sanding. We've done that before. We're not doing that again. What can you do? I know they're in bad shape. And I'll show you a picture of the before and after, but it is the most dramatic before and after, where I am certain that most people would say, you got to sand these floors. But the way we treat the floors, the way we're able to work through our proprietary process. Now, this is another one. I'm going to give you another example. What was her name? Her name was Judy. She was at the house, and I said, Judy, we just got done restaining the floors. You want to come in? We're not done. We're not done. Just know it's not finished, but do you want to come in and take a look? Just poke your head. It's okay. This is dry. You can step right here. She steps around the corner, and she gasps, puts her hand on her chest. Oh my gosh, I got my floors back. So that's the most gratifying thing in the world. And of course, when we're done, you get just about the same thing again when she sees, once everything's cured the next day. So I love those little
So you
moments.
happy boy?
I love it when that stuff happens. I love
But
being active, and I think so. To me, happiness is about being good, in my opinion. And this is something I try to share this with younger men specifically, because I talk to a lot of young guys, especially my nephews and their friends, and because my nephew's 19, the other one's 16, about to turn 17. So I'm talking to them and their friends. And a lot of my buddies, their kids, they're a little bit too young to hear this message, I think, because they're like 9, 10, 11. But when they get in their upper teens, they're getting questions like, what you going to do? What are you going to do with your life? What do you want to do when you get out of high school? And they don't know how to answer the question a lot. And neither did I. I just knew I wanted to play football.
That
I didn't
is
know how
what's
to answer
wrong
the
with our
question.
education system.
We didn't know what to do.
Put tools in schools. You were lucky because you had them at home. And look what it did for you. Here you are today at 43 years old, working with your hands, your mind. You're an educated, college degree man, that had a father that worked with you with tools, and you worked in corporate America. You played status quo totally, went to college, got a degree, and I applaud you for that, in business economics. Okay, got out of college, went to work for corporate America for approximately 14 years of your life, but something was missing.
Big time.
And everything, now I might be off, but it went right back to what you learned at home.
It did.
What you learned at home with your mama and your daddy and your brother and your sister, right?
That's right.
And look where it took you. And now you're right back
where you belong.
Where you belong.
That's right.
It's amazing. But it's only because you had it and you could reflect on it. Now you're telling these kids the same thing.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the story.
I love you for that. Because, see, that's what we need is more men, and you are one.
I got a message to share about that.
We'll talk to you when we come back.
Sounds good.
About Your House with Ryan Steele. ReCoat Revolution. More to it than meets the eye. Come on back. We'll talk.
About the show, go to our Facebook page, About Your House Radio. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
Hi, I'm Sam Otero of AteroMedia.com, and I love empowering my clients and partners to make the most out of today's latest digital media tools. We specialize in building production systems and podcast studios for small to mid-sized churches and local businesses here in Charlotte. Do you need new media production gear? Do you need help learning how to use it? You're in great hands with our family business, Atero Media of Charlotte. That's ETTARO Media.com.
Owens Chimney Systems is known for all professional chimney services since 1989, including chimney cleaning, recommended annually, chimney evaluations and inspections, any and all chimney repairs and restorations, gas fireplace and gas fire log service, furnace cleaning, cleaning out one of the most overlooked appliances in the home. Get it done right the first time. That's Owens Chimney Systems at 704-554-9595. Or you can visit us online at owenschimneysystems.com.
Rhino Lift Foundation Solutions, your go-to foundation repair, crawl space repair, basement waterproofing, concrete repair, lifting services. And when it comes to foundation repair, the retaining wall repair, foundation wall repair, leaning chimneys, a lot of leaning chimneys out there in the marketplace, folks. If you want to get a free estimate, give them a call. They'll come out, take a look, and tell you how it's done. Push pier service, helical pier service, crawl space encapsulation, or they'll come out and tell you you don't need encapsulation if you don't in fact need it. That's not the silver bullet, and they will educate you. Matter of fact, one of their main purposes is to educate you. If you don't need it, they're not going to sell it to you, folks. So that's Rhino Lift Foundation Solutions for a foundation repair and general contractor serving the Charlotte metro area and beyond. You can't beat their service. They provide expertise services in foundation repair. Like I said, crawl space, basement waterproofing, concrete repair, and leveling. Rhino Lift was founded by two individuals that had a great drive and spirit to be as transparent as possible with the customers so they could educate them to make the most informed buying decisions. That's Rhino Lift Foundation Solutions. Or just best thing you can do is, well, if you want to call them and talk to them, give them a call at 980-366-2123 or go to rhinoliftfoundations.com.
Have a comment or question for the show? Call us 704-227-8986. That's 704-227-8986. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back. Got Ron Steele in the house, ReCoat Revolution, talking about, well, inspiration to kids. Say, you're talking to the young men now.
I like to share
Closer to the mic.
thank you. I like to share wisdom when I feel like I've got something worth saying, especially to younger folks who could benefit from it, because I always looked up to the older men in my life to gain that same kind of wisdom. And I just had just enough wisdom as a kid to know to ask good questions, I think, to some of those older guys. So even the younger bucks that aren't asking those questions, sometimes I'll say, you may not have thought about this yet, but let me share something with you. And one of those things, kind of picking back up from where we left off, was those questions they get asked when they're about to leave high school. What are you going to do? What's next? And I feel like that's a hard question for a lot of kids to answer. It was hard for me to answer. The thing was, I didn't know. I just knew that
Most
football.
kids really don't know.
No, and I don't blame anybody out there who doesn't know, or if they're the parents of kids who don't
there's
know.
no blame.
It's not something that I feel like you have to know. But one of the things, I'll just share a story about my head coach from Wofford, Mike Ayers, a legendary coach. He was there 30-something years. Phenomenal human being, phenomenal leader of young men. I'm done. I've already played my 4 years at Wofford, and I go have a meeting with him, and I say, Coach, you've seen a lot of young men, I guess, kind of like me, coming through here. I don't know what the heck I want to do. What do you think I should do? Like, what is your opinion? He said, Ryan, do you know what you don't want to do? Now I'll pause for a second. At the end of this, I was not happy with his answer, but I learned from it. So what he said, Ryan, do you know what you don't want to do? And I said, yeah, I think so. He said, well, just don't do that and go do everything else. And as he kind of held his arms out in like a V shape, and he says, as you learn more, and he starts narrowing that V and bringing his hands closer together and says, your field of view will start to get more and more acute. And the more things you don't want are going to be on the outside, and you get to focus on the things you do want to do and that you can do. So I left that meeting as a 22-year-old expecting some hard and concrete answer that I thought was a magic bullet that I think I was looking for. So in my immature age and stage, I didn't understand the wisdom of that at the time. But the older I got, I realized he was very right, especially when you didn't know what you want to do. Now, back to using your hands. In hindsight, I would have gone into the construction field, probably would have gone into construction management, might have even gone to Clemson because that's such a good school for it, or North Carolina State. But point is that a lot of those young fellas don't know what they want to do. And they get told, follow your passion. If you have a passion, follow your passion. But I didn't have a passion outside of football, and football wasn't going to pay. I was good enough to get a scholarship, but not to work professionally in it. So I talked to other young men about this. Find something that you can be good at. Just be something where you can be good at. And eventually you're going to be the man in that role, or the woman in that role. You're going to be the person who is dominating in that role. Even if it's something that you think is small right now, you're going to dominate that small thing, and then you're going to get up to the next bigger thing, and you're going to keep building, and you're going to keep building, and you keep moving to the next thing. And the next thing you know, this thing you didn't have passion for, holy cow. I like the fact that people are asking me, well, we need your opinion on this. What do you think about this? And so it took me just learning about that and having my own path and trying to get as much wisdom as I could from older men in my life to eventually get away from the corporate America world, which I was good at. I did that for a long time and was promoted many times, but I wanted to be something that I enjoyed.
But see,
I
did that well too.
And I did do it well, and I liked a lot of aspect of it.
And I love it. You had all right, here's something you did have. Where did it come from? You had a work ethic. You had a work ethic. You had moral. You had standards. You had scruples. You knew right from wrong, right?
Thanks, Mom and Dad.
Bingo. Greatest gift of all, love from mother and father. That's missing in our culture today,
yeah,
unfortunately. Now people say, Ray, why are you so negative? Here's the answer to that. I'm a problem solver, just like you. It's what I've done my whole life. I don't care if it's a house, if it's a project, or life itself. You look for, now, do I have all the answers? No. But all the answers are about people. Let me say that again. All the answers are about people.
If you don't have the answer, you can find the answer through a relationship.
And love and communication and trust and honesty, which you had, right? But you couldn't find it where you were, could you?
That's right.
That's what we're not giving our kids in school. See, now I'm going to ask you something. Did you take anything in school that led you to where you're at today?
I took so funny thing about York, some people make fun of York High School because
York High School has some technical.
It's called YCHS, York Comprehensive High School. So my buddies would always make fun of me and just say, what do you mean comprehensive? What is it you guys are comprehending? What that was there's a function of York High School that is on the technical side, and I took these courses called Exploration of Trade and Industry.
Well, I thank you for sharing this, because a lot of people don't even know this stuff existed.
Yeah, and that's the function of York. At York's, I think there's just a lot of folks are going in the trade direction, and so a lot of York's curriculum was focused on the non-traditional path and on the actual trade path. So there was a lot of electricians and carpenters and automotive mechanics and stuff that came from York because of the curriculum that was there.
But it was there.
Yeah.
That's the point.
There. Not everybody has that. Not every school does that.
In Charlotte, North Carolina, Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools, I'm not here to criticize, but there aren't any. There aren't any. Relatively speaking, out of 34 high schools, I think there's 4 carpenter programs. There's 4 automotive programs, and there's some other things scattered around, but very, very minimal. We're not, and here's the point, we're not giving the full menu of life to our students. We're setting them down at a desk and making them learn and memorize things to take a test and do well on for data, not purpose or happiness or total success in the world in which we live. Do you find that to be the case?
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. And that's the path that I followed because I thought it was.
That's what they want. That's what you were taught to do. When you talk to kids today, you say, what are you going to be? I'm going to be an attorney. Well, how do you know that? Well, because they've talked to a counselor and based on their academics. Now, you laugh.
My nephew says he wants to be an attorney because he likes to argue.
Okay. I hear
just
you.
Made me think of him.
Oh, people said I would have made a good attorney because I like to argue, but I don't argue anymore.
Debate.
Well, debating's fine, but I don't want to argue.
No, I mean,
typically it's just one person wanting to be right.
That's right.
Has nothing to do with doing the right thing, and that I learned through life itself. And I would listen to arguments, and it was like somebody just wanted to be right. And then I looked at, and I would interrupt the argument, and they wouldn't even know who I was. Said, "Blame me." What do you mean, blame you? Well, all y'all looking for is someone to blame. You ain't talking about a solution.
Oh, you mean
here.
you were listening to somebody else's argument?
Yeah. And I listened, they were bantering about the problem and arguing who to blame. And I'm saying,
doesn't surprise me at all.
And I said, well, why don't we figure out how to solve the problem, resolve it, and you blame me?
Yeah.
Well, why would we do that? Because
you need somebody to blame.
You need someone to blame. Shoot, I can take it. No problem. Just throw it my way.
And you did that at Walmart yesterday, right? In the grocery aisle.
Yeah. Walmart. I don't shop at Walmart. Yeah, I do too. I get my blue jeans at Walmart.
They still sell ammo at Walmart?
I don't know. 22s they used to. I don't know. But anyway, I don't like arguing. And really, have you ever listened to an argument? 9 times out of 10, somebody just wanted to be right.
Yeah.
They're wasting
Emotions
time.
get out of control.
Yeah, emotions. And when it starts getting emotional, shut it down.
That's right.
Shut it down. Ain't no sense going any further. And because then somebody's going to react, and then, oh, Lord, this doesn't blow up on us. Totally out of control over a simple little argument. People want to be right. No. In today's world, oh, my goodness gracious. All right, we got to take a top of the hour break here. Come back with hour number 3. I don't know what we're going to talk about. We've already solved all the problems, haven't we?
I got a couple ideas.
And you was worried about 3 hours, weren't you?
No doubt.
It ain't hard. Life's full of stories. Goodness gracious. Come back. Let's tell some more right here on About Your House, Fox Sports Charlotte. And good news, the phone's fixed. So if you want to call in here and add a little tidbit of info, we'd love to hear from you. 227-8986. That's 704-227-8986. Give us a call here in the studio. Let's check the phones out. I could give away some food. I might. Who knows? Stay tuned. Hour number 3 coming your way.
Hour number 3, Ray and Ryan Steele, owner of ReCoat Revolution, talking more about his business, the trades, and wood floors. Lots more good conversation coming your way. About Your House is brought to you in part by PutToolsInSchools.org, connecting students to tools of the trades and raising awareness of the many career pathways. About Your House is also brought to you in part by Queen City Home Store. Queen City Home Store is a family-owned store serving the Carolinas for over 70 years. They're the largest independent appliance retailer in the Carolinas, constantly growing and taking pride in the experience that they offer customers with a knowledgeable sales staff, product selection, and lowest price guarantee. So sit back, relax, and enjoy some time with us. And now, here's your host, Ray Terry.
All right, welcome back to hour number 3 about your house, right here on Fox Sports Charlotte. Download the free app, stream us live. I got Ryan Steele in the house today talking about ReCoat Revolution in floors. We talked a little bit about it, and we'll talk a little bit more about it. But, you know, if you've got floors, and there's wood down there, and you want to restore it.
That's right. Any hard surface. So most folks have wood or a wood-like surface like the LVP or the luxury vinyl tile, but we do work on tile as well. I got a tile job coming up this Wednesday. Yeah, we do the cleaning of our machines work really well to clean, especially with tile, and cleaning out the grout. We're really good at it because the top of the tile, it doesn't take a whole lot to clean that, but the grout itself, our machines are good at that.
All right, we should back up here. What do you do?
Floor restoration, hard surfaces, no carpet.
Okay, so you say hard surface.
It's about restoration and preservation of the surface you have.
So you do ceramic tile restoration?
Yeah. Now, there's sometimes you got some broken ones, and that's just traditional repair.
I'm not talking about repairing the tile. Where I'm going, I got a beautiful question here, and the reason being because you just said something.
What's that?
I restore hard surfaces.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking ceramic tile upfit or a cleaning job or a restoration, not necessarily repair on ceramic tile like cracked tiles, but as far as the appearance,
that's right,
cleanliness, and natural beauty of the tile, you can.
So our cleaning function that we use when we're restoring floors.
But you only do floors?
I do horizontal. So we do tables as well. That's right. So the wall is also flat.
So you
but
don't do bathrooms.
We don't do wall. I do bathrooms. Yeah.
Well,
but not the actual like the kitchen or I'm sorry, the wall of the shower. None of the walls. People ask us all the time, can you redo the headboard of our bed? Or do you do like the banister of the stairs? We don't mess with those, but we do the stairs, the landings, the tables and
the flat work.
The flats, the
so
horizontal
you do
surfaces.
Flat work.
You got it.
Okay. Just want to get it.
Yes, sir. But the cleaning function of our process works really good standalone. So we'll get in relationships with restaurants where they have, how much mileage restaurants get, the foot
Yeah.
traffic in there. So we're on a cleaning schedule with them. It might be on a quarterly basis. Usually they're about a quarter is usually when a lot of these restaurants are doing it 4 times a year, go through our deep clean process, because we'll do it at nighttime whenever they're, not interrupting their revenue stream. But that cleaning function, sometimes it's just a clean only job. We've done like I said, this upcoming Wednesday, tile, grout, black. I mean, I don't know what it used to be,
Where's
but
it at? Can I ask?
it's actually kind of close to the football stadium.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of close to the football
Downtown.
stadium, just outside of downtown. And but
Notice we called it downtown.
we did call it downtown. I know
It is
uptown.
no, it's
A lot
downtown.
of people think, did we call it the wrong thing? We didn't say uptown, but we're talking about the same thing inside of 277, just outside of 277. So that clean function, some people want just that, and we'll deploy the team and go do a clean job. And that's what's happening a lot of times with LVP and with LVT and with polished concrete and with your tile is we're going through using our machines to do the deep clean process, because a lot of that's step one on wood is a lot of the clean treatment is done on those other surfaces. And then we get to, the wood, you go to step 3 and step 4 on the wood that may not get the same treatment on those other surfaces.
Well, that's great to know that you do ceramic or hard surface. I don't want to say ceramic because most tile today is porcelain actually anyway. So you got to be careful. They'd be calling me up, tell me that ain't porcelain. That's just, that ain't ceramic. It's porcelain. But they want to be precise and correct on their terminology.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. When you started this business, did you have to go to training here, let me rephrase the question.
Yes, I did.
You picked a franchise. Did that concern you at all, picking a franchise, or was that a good end because they had methodologies and proprietary systems and what have you?
I wasn't.
What sold you on that, I guess, would be the question.
Quality was the thing, really. Quality and the ability to deliver the service, because I knew I could deliver this service. And so the franchise is based in St. Louis, Missouri, and it's operated for the last 5 years in St. Louis. And they started, deploying or putting franchises all over. Had the first one in the Carolinas, and what I liked about it is as far as picking a franchise, because at first I was considering just buying a business and running a business or starting it up, but the franchise, the process was already there. The solution for filling that gap in the market was already there, but it was contained in St. Louis, Missouri, and then it's being deployed to other parts of the country recently. So this process, particularly effective on all the wooden surfaces. That's where the proprietary nature of the process is having its biggest effect, is on wood. So the cleaning aspects of that process are good on all these surfaces, but the stage 3 and stage 4 of the process are what's really, really, really effective on wood, where sanding isn't necessary or where sanding is not desired. So, but picking this franchise, the proficiency was there, the training application. We had the opportunity to go up to St. Louis. They had what we nicknamed it the laboratory,
right?
Big warehouse, a bunch of different wooden surfaces out there. And the neat thing that the franchisor would do is they built stages of different wood surfaces. You got your walnut over here, you got your oak over here, and you got different size planks. You got LVP, you got engineered, and you got VCT, vinyl composite tile. So we get a chance to go in and work on all these, and every day or evening, whatever they would do, they would go mess them up in some capacity. And our job was to fix it, and it was to restore. And sometimes we go in and restore. There was
How long were you there for training?
We're there for a few weeks.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah. So some of the training is in
You
that
said
laboratory.
we.
Yeah, the guys I bring with me.
So you brought a team with you?
Brought my guys with me. Yep. So
hold on. I got your guys. Who are your guys?
I got 3 guys on the team.
Okay, so you got 3 employees,
That's
3
right.
guys to help you.
That's right.
Cool.
Yeah. So we go into the lab. Now, they actually had a Labrador in the room next door. And what they would do sometimes is you'd finish doing the job, they go over there to the next room and get a bunch of dog hair off the floor and come throw it on the floor after you left. And then you come in the next day, they're like, you got a call back from a customer. There was some hair in there. Must have come out of the vent. Can you fix it? Or must have fallen off the fan blade. Can you fix this? And it's like, I'm certain that wasn't there. Like, yeah, we threw that on there last night. What are you going to do about it? And so then they position furniture in a bunch of different places, just basically simulating what you're going to experience in the real world. So that was really good for the team to see how the process works, how we're going to solve these problems. Staining, that actually requires an artistic eye. Matching
Stain is an art in itself.
No doubt. And
I know.
so
Yeah,
you starting with foundational stains, and then you're adding to try to match colors. And
matter of fact, that was the greatest challenge that I ever faced in finishing, is matching stains. And there, it does become an art, and in matching, and I've messed up a few times along the way, but there again, I've hit it spot on sometimes.
It feels good when you hit a spot on, especially the first time.
Especially in the middle of a kitchen.
Oh my God!
They call me out and says, "You think we can make that match?" And I said, like the ego mania I was at that age, I said, "We can make it match, sure." And we did, but getting there.
Tough.
Was it not hard? Wasn't easy.
And testing, you want to make sure you're testing your color in an area where it's less conspicuous if you can help it. Now, if you're fixing a spot in the middle of the floor, which sometimes we're doing, you don't have a choice. You're just fixing it right there in the middle of the floor. But
you get a sample piece somewhere, some piece of oak or something that resembles, because Lord have mercy, because once you stain wood, sometimes you can mess up big time.
It's like a haircut. Start with a little, and then in staining, go light first, and then go more.
Right. I got you. Well, it sounds like you're having fun. How long now have you been at it?
We've been at it all year long. Open up the doors officially. So all of our training activity was at the beginning of the year, but we were out in the field in April of this year.
Gotcha. Are you liking it?
Oh, loving it. And the thing is, the guys too, I'll tell you one thing that the crew actually likes. You got guys that were working in irrigation and in stonework.
Oh, I was going to ask you, where did you get your guys?
Thankfully, well, let's go back to old YCHS, York Comprehensive High School. So it's just relationships I've had through the years.
No, that's great, though.
Is it still called Comprehensive High School?
I actually don't know. Well, so the one I went to, there's a New York high school that's a couple miles away. Gotcha. I'm not sure if that New York high school has comprehensive in the title or not. But the one I went to did. But my pitch to the guys who were working in some other job in some other field is like, what if you were able to work indoors in the shade in a climate controlled environment for every job? That sounds pretty good to me. So
and there's a microwave in the kitchen.
Yes, well, we try to just bring our own food. We don't even use it. But you're right. But you are right.
Believe me. People say, why you like remodeling? Well, I can eat in the kitchen every day or somewhere. I got, like you say, you got a house.
That's right. So the attractiveness of the job or the attractiveness of the profession to employees, to the guys who are doing the job, is also pretty high too. So, because it's tough when you're freezing. Now the thing is, we're outside and going back and forth all day, but the job isn't executed in the rain. If it's raining, we're working. If it's snowing, we're working. 90 degrees, 105 or 5 degrees, we're working, and we don't get rained out. And so sometimes the guys that they might even bring in an extra guy who got rained out.
Typically, where you're at logistically, you've always got a hard surface to pull into the job on, and you've always got a controlled environment, and that is a good benefit.
Speaking of the control, we wanted to reduce the moisture when we get into the house.
Oh yeah.
So you got to drop the temperature, and I'll say we need to drop the temperature. If the homeowner's there, I'll mention this, because sometimes it's empty if it's a bought or sold home. I say we need to reduce the temperature. Now, the reason we're doing it is for humidity control, but one of the benefits of it is it makes for a more pleasant working environment. But the reason is humidity.
Right.
We gotta drop the humidity. Because we made that mistake before where we didn't. We forgot to do that, and somebody just liked the temperature up higher in the middle of the summer. So you walk outside and it's 95 and it's hot. You walk inside, it's 75, and it feels comfortable. It's a 20-degree swing, but the humidity was too high in the house and our stain wasn't drying. Like, oh my gosh.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because people aren't aware of what we talk a lot on this show about humidity. Because see, what you fight in the summertime, you don't fight temperature, you fight humidity.
Mhm.
People say, huh? Do you know what the humidity is in your house? Well, it's like you go in and see cut floors. You've gone in some houses, and we'll talk about this, and see the cut floors. And on a crawl space, immediately what do you see? What? Say
Water.
it. Say it.
Water.
Water. You learned that real quick, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
And that was one of the first big lessons you learned about floors, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. Well,
The
the
humidity.
acclimation, especially in the South.
Yeah, but it's
Those boys
humidity.
acclimated.
It's humidity. I've gone in many, many houses and said, you got a problem. They say,
Moisture
what?
barrier.
Well, but what? How do you know I've got a problem?
Look at the floor.
Look at your floor. What do you see? And I tell them.
Mm-hmm.
I've told people to run away from houses before because the floors are in such foul shape.
They were lucky to have you.
I said, don't walk, but run from this house. Why? And I hadn't even gone in it yet. I saw it from the street. Went in and I said, yep, exactly what I thought.
The floor looks like an accordion.
It was worse than that. It's big old humps in the floor and everything. Crazy stuff. Anyway, we're talking flooring and other stuff with Ryan Steele from ReCoat Revolution, and just career opportunities thereof. Working with your hands, your mind, with purpose and happiness. We'll be back with more.
More about the show? Go to our Facebook page, About Your House Radio. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
Hello everyone, Mike Sims here from Crown Town Cannabis, Charlotte's first cannabis dispensary. We have grown over the years and we are now throughout the state of North Carolina. You can find us all the way from Pisgah National Forest to Waves, North Carolina. Find more information about our stores online as well as locations or purchase online at cltcbd.com, crowntowncannabis.com. Use code HOUSE15 for 15% off your purchases online or in store. We have products to help you through everyday life and to help you enjoy this show even more.
There's big news in the Carolinas. Queen City Audio, Video, and Appliances is now Queen City Home Store. For over 70 years, we've been your trusted retailer for appliances, electronics, and more. Now, we're taking it to the next level with a new name, a fresh look, and more ways to serve you, offering the same outstanding service you've always counted on, while bringing you everything you need for your home. Queen City Home Store. Same great service, more possibilities. Visit us at queencityonline.com.
The professionals at Kilo Exterminating Company have over 70 years of experience in pest control. Throughout the years, they always pride themselves on maintaining the highest standard of quality and customer service, with every technician being state certified. And moisture readings are standard with every inspection. Their top priority is ensuring your home is free from pests such as ants, mosquitoes, termites, and any other pests wreaking havoc on your home. That's Kilo Exterminating at 704-333-9855 or online, kilo.biz. That's 704-333-9855.
Have a comment or question for the show? Call us 704-227-8986. That's 704-227-8986. Now, back to the show.
Hey, folks, let's talk flooring. Ha! We've been doing it the whole show today. Well, Floor Coverings International, Southeast Charlotte, or your go-to store if you're looking for new floors, to replace floors, update, new kitchen floor, whatever it be. Whether it's LVP, liquid, luxury vinyl plank, carpet, wood, laminate, doesn't matter, hardwood, engineered flooring, whatever your bubble is, they'll make it fly. I promise you. Don't you love that? Whether you're in Belmont, Cramerton, Gastonia, Indian Trail, Lowell, McAdenville, Stallings, Weddington, hey, they'll go to you. They bring their showroom to you in their trucks. They got trucks totally equipped with the floor covering that you want. You may not know what you want. Well, they're going to help you. Folks, either go online to Floor Coverings International, Southeast Charlotte, or give them a call at 704-845-3567. Like I said, they'll bring the showroom to you. Great staff, great professional, knowledgeable people bringing you the best products you could possibly get with the best service warranties in the business. That's Floor Coverings International, Southeast Charlotte, 704-845-3567 or floorcoveringsinternational.com. I got to throw a big shout out to Queen City Home Store. They have provided and supported Put Tools in Schools in our podcast studio. They've did a wonderful donation of the TVs and the vent hood that we're going to install to teach kids how to cook. Kids, did you learn how to cook at home? I know you did.
My mom always said, if you can read, you can cook. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. There's some art that you got to throw on top of that to make it your own. But I do agree with that. If you can read, you can cook. So sometimes she'd say, you can read, you do it.
Did you cook at home?
I did. It wasn't any good. It was,
Well, it doesn't matter,
but I
you
cook
did.
now. Oh, yeah.
But you cook now,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. Thanks, Mom.
Where are you living now?
I live in South Park.
You live in South Park?
I do.
The South Park area?
I do, yeah.
What road do you live on?
I live on Carnegie Boulevard.
Okay, that's what you need to do.
Yeah.
You live in an apartment.
I do. I live in a big building. My apartment's full of folks who sold their home or folks who are divorced. And I fell into both of those categories.
Right there where that Barnes & Noble is in that area?
Kind of close to that. Yeah,
Okay.
probably about a mile from there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's a great area to be in Charlotte.
is,
You're
yeah.
close to everything.
Yeah.
What took you there, just out of curiosity?
Well,
your
first of all,
country boy.
I loved just being in close to a lot of things. Plus, it's the middle of my service area. Was kind of a big driving focus.
Right.
Is you're right in the middle of Charlotte, and I loved being close to the grocery store. While we're talking about food, love being close to the grocery store, and that building is steel and concrete and very quiet.
I hear you.
Very quiet.
Cool.
Yeah.
Were you there? You're not far from the big fire they had.
No, that was probably a half a mile just up the road.
That's
I remember
right
seeing that big plume of smoke coming.
Yeah, right beside USI Insurance.
Yeah, that's right.
You could get. Yeah, we had our board meetings in
Burned
USI.
that thing to the ground.
Yeah, big. Man, that thing was hot fire. But anyway, a little history there. Another hot fire in the history of Charlotte was H&S Lumber burning down on Summit Avenue way back, and one of the hottest fires the fire department ever had to face.
No doubt.
Because it was
Full
a
fuel.
lumber yard. Yeah, hot. Okay, all right. We were talking about your crew before the break. How you one of the hardest thing to do in business now is find good help. But you found it through some friends.
Personal connections. So
and teamwork building.
That's right. And giving people a chance to do what they're good at, showing them how to do things the right way, holding people accountable, making sure that we are humans and we are all imperfect. And as humans, perfection is not attainable, but excellence is. So we will pursue excellence continuously. And if there's an opportunity for improvement, how do we actually make sure folks are addressing it?
To the point of help, you must take care of your employees or your help or your team. And when I say take care of them, not only in their morale and expectations, but in their wallets. And one of the biggest problems our industry has today is paying people what they're worth. It seems like the worker bees are the ones that get shafted the most. When I say worker bees, I'm talking about the personnel, the people, the staff that are out there creating the product that in which you sell. And if you don't take care of those men, women, whatever, they will leave.
Yeah.
Especially in today's market. However, you must work to get paid. You must show up on time to get paid. And when I say to get paid, I'm saying to have a job. And you must communicate well to get paid. Did I miss anything?
I think you nailed it.
And another big factor is you must have a driver's license in a service profession to get paid. All your crew have driver's licenses?
They do.
There you go. Now, I know people, and another biggie if you're in the service industry is you will read a tape measure. Square footage is important. Is it not?
Kind of a big deal on the floors. Yes, it is.
Kind of a big deal, So, all right, your work, who's the salesperson?
So I make sure that everybody is equipped with basic knowledge. I'm not giving a certain guy like you are the sales guy, but you need to be able to answer questions if the homeowner comes by, and because they are there to execute the job, but they also need to know how to talk about it. So in a capacity, in some capacity,
to communication.
Everybody on the crew has got a selling function that will be put into practice at some point. Even if it's just the homeowner's asking a question about that thing right there, they need to know how to describe it, and they're selling their competence, if nothing else, when the homeowner asks the question.
I love it.
Yeah.
So all of you are well-versed.
Yeah. Well, what I'm planning on doing, I had a conversation with a guy earlier this week about engaging a full-time sales guy. So I'm wearing so many of the hats.
I told you can't do it all.
Can't do it all, and I need to start offloading some of it. So having a conversation, I had a conversation this past week. We're exploring that even further. But I still at this point am doing all of the estimates, and I need to have another person who's able to do that.
Well, see, you're in the process right now of finding your niche in your niche.
That's okay. I'm with you now. Yeah.
You're in the process, but hey, you're right on time. You're perfect. You're right where you're supposed to be, right? You're finding the holes in the boat and you're plugging them one by one, right? I call them holes.
I know what you mean.
The boat's going to sink if you don't plug the holes.
And I need it. The group of guys that we've got right now, when we get to the point where we want to be able to address the customer's need within the first few weeks. We want to be able to book the job, unless they want to be out 4 weeks, 5 weeks, because we're going on vacation. We want to be booking that job in the next couple of weeks. And usually we're able to. We can fit it into the schedule. When we start getting out 3-4 weeks, that's when we need to add another truck and another set of guys. But that's sales guy.
That's when work really begins to happen. And I'm going to tell you, being bigger can be better, but can also be a lot worse because you're compounding your headaches and your stress and your management reach. None of my business, but a lot of people grow, especially in the contracting business, they grow too big, too fast, and it's all around their ego. Oh, wow, I got 4 trucks. Well, that's cool. But then again, it also expands your output.
They got
cash.
4 trucks and
all that liability and
a lot
overhead.
of other things that aren't as good as it should be, or they got 40 trucks, whatever the case is.
But sounds like you're on your way, and it's great. I love it. I think it's wonderful.
We are making homeowners happy one day at a time. But I think that, going back to kind of what took me there too, or what brought me to ReCoat is I talked about being able to look at the job and look back at your work and appreciate what you've just done. And as a kid, I worked at the golf course as a maintenance guy. So I was cutting the greens and cutting the fairways.
So you was out on the grass.
Oh, you should have seen how red my neck was. I just wore a ball cap. I should have been wearing the big wide brimmed hat to protect more skin. But yeah, that
But
neck
you
gets
even
toasted.
learned there. Now, when did you do that?
That was in the late 90s.
Okay.
Yeah. Spring Lake Country Club in York, South Carolina. Yeah. But being able to finish the job, turn around and look at it and go, oh, yeah, that looks pretty darn like
That's
that.
pride.
It is.
And that's something we're not teaching either is pride.
They may not even get to experience it because some of these kids are spending so much time on the screen, they haven't actually built something or done something where they can have pride about it.
Or prideful.
Yeah.
That's another benefit to working with your hands and your mind, critical thinking, and problem resolution. See, they don't want you to ask questions because if you ask questions, you might figure out their game, right?
Well, I enjoy the aspect of being able to do this beautification restoration job. And we've been plenty satisfied when the homeowner goes, it looks good. Great. Thank you. But it does feel better when they're like, whoa, they just get more emotional about it. Cause sometimes they're not as emotional about it as we are,
Right.
Sometimes we get more emotional about executing the job than the homeowner, but sometimes the homeowner's more emotional than us. And
that's awesome.
It feels good.
That's what it's all about. That's why we do what we do, But also, I find a lot of pleasure in introducing these crafts, these abilities to younger people that had no clue as to what they're capable of, and to give them self-confidence and reassurance that they can be good at something. That's what we're not giving our kids. Being good at on a test is a lot more different than being good with your hands and your mind and accomplishing a task. And then at the end of the day, like yesterday, like your floors. Yesterday, when I finished that ceiling, to have the homeowner come out and look at it. Wow, man, that is perfect. That looks great. Man, it looks great.
That feel good.
It makes that's great. Then they love writing that check too, don't they? They do. They don't mind. Are you sure this is enough? Are you sure it's enough?
They appreciated what you did.
Yeah.
So much so that now
then they might slip you a $20 bill or something.
There's been a couple of cleaning jobs we did. So one of the ones we did.
I don't like tips, but
one of the jobs we did, there was some realtors I spoke to, made a recommendation to a homeowner, and there was some spots on the floor. And everybody, remember the example I gave you? If you're a sander, if you're a hammer, every problem looks like a nail. They said the only thing you can do is sand these floors. You got to sand them. And the realtor said, let's try this one other thing. Give Ryan a call at ReCoat Revolution. Let's see if they can come and fix it. So the review the woman said, Ryan, the realtor told us, or the people had told us the only solution was for us to sand. Then our realtor recommended ReCoat Revolution, and Ryan proved them wrong. And so the job, it was only a couple $100 to fix this thing. So it was one of the smallest jobs we've done, but our process worked so well on their spots. She freaking doubled the amount that she gave me on the check. And she's like, I didn't think this was possible. And it just, thank you so much. So those little things just to show you the capability. I think what we're doing is this is Saturday the 18th. Next Saturday and Sunday, we're at the Charlotte Home Show, and we're going to have some examples of what the before and after looks like. So everything we're doing, we're talking about it right now. People may not. There's nothing you can see. The Charlotte Home Show is the Park Expo Center right next to Bojangles Coliseum off Independence.
Right. No, it will.
Yep. So that's next Saturday. We've got.
When's it start? Next Saturday?
It's Saturday at 10. Yep.
And it runs through Sunday?
It's Saturday and Sunday, correct.
Right at the Park Expo.
Park Expo Center.
Okay,
that's
cool.
right. So we got a booth up there, booth number 601. Come and see us. And you'll be able to actually see what we're talking about, because all you're doing is hearing about it right now. but seeing is believing. And I think that's where a lot of the folks' understanding of what's possible comes into play when we actually see the after.
Do you ever do videos of your work?
Yeah. So one of the things I'm doing, I've got some time-lapse photography, and because the videos would be too long if it wasn't sped up.
You gotta.
So it's a little 15-second segments of us doing certain parts of the process, and that'll be on display too. I got a TV set up, and also we'll have some tangible examples. Left side is unrestored, the right side is restored. You can actually see of the same planks of wood.
Sure.
What we're talking about, how damaged it can be,
Right.
and how good it can look once the restoration happens without sanding put on this restoration solution. Yeah, just through our traditional process.
Well, I'm anxious to hear about the home show.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go deep into this, but I'm going to tell you some experience. I've talked about it before. Used to be home shows were fabulous. Loved me some home shows. I was on the advisory board for Southern Shows for many years, maybe 12, 13 years, and being involved with NARI. NARI literally, the Southern Ideal Home Show in the fall, I believe it was, we had NARI's presence was tremendous. Matter of fact, we had what we called NARI Boulevard or something like that. A whole aisle.
Everybody was NARI down a lane.
And it worked real well. And we had a very active chapter and did a lot of really neat stuff. And then that was before the internet. And then the internet came on board, and home shows just basically died relative to what they were. I remember when you'd go to a home show back in the early mid-90s, it'd be elbow to elbow, man. Aisles you couldn't even get through. It was so many people in there. It was a blast, like a big party. But boy, it wore you down, big time. And it was longer than just 3 or 4 days. It was, anyway, it was a great time. But like I said, when the internet hit, the home shows just kind of fizzled away. And there are several home shows around, and they've done a lot of promotion on social media for this show. A lot.
It's about 150 vendors going to be there.
Yeah. And I'm anxious to see the outcome. I hope it's a good show for you. I really do.
Yeah.
Home shows to me just aren't what they were because of the internet. People can go online now and just about get anything they want. And not only that, now we've got AI, and now you can find out all the information you want and more.
Well, here's an advantage to coming to this home show.
Well, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. So we got what we want to do for our prospective customers that are coming in and taking a look at our process. We got a wheel we're going to spin, like Wheel of Fortune wheel.
Sure.
It's got a bunch of different discount percentages on there. You spin the wheel, and that'll be whatever it lands on is the discount percentage you'll get on your first job for coming to the home show and coming to see us.
Right.
There is a 50% on there. And you'll be able to see on the screen, you'll be able to see the before and after pictures that we've got. You'll see the videos of some time lapse of the process without giving away all of the tricks of the trade. But then you'll really be able to feel and touch the before and after for what is it? What are we talking about? How bad were these floors? Holy cow! This is what you can see the same planks of wood on the left side, all messed up, and on the right side restored.
Let me ask you a detailed question. I was in the kitchen just this week, and a lot of wear hardwoods in the kitchen, 2 1/4. And I mean, good looking floors, as far as moisture and all that go. Good lay, good flat, good floors. But this is in a very wide open space in the living area, and they all look fine. Can you blend and match? How's that work? Like if they wanted you to come, because I'll refer you, because I go in. That's my main area when I go into a house now is the kitchen. I'm putting some sort of ventilation in. I always put down. I have to tell. I always protect the floors in the area I'm working with hardboard, 1/8-inch masonite. I just put maybe 1 or 2 pieces down because I don't want to damage the floor. Be it tile, be it whatever it is, I'm going to protect it. I call it my prophylactics, my protective. That blows people's mind when they say that. They think other things. Well, get out of the gutter.
In their defense, I think
that's the only time that's used.
That's used, really.
But it's protection. I protect the floor,
Yeah, I mean,
right?
yeah, but
I want
I
a
would just
QP.
use protection. I wouldn't.
Well, why? Because you got to be politically correct.
Well, potentially.
Here we go.
Well, I just wouldn't. You say get your mind out of
You
the gutter.
stirred him up.
But
You
I'm
stirred him
but
up.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
But it's not hard to get him stirred up.
Yeah, I get riled up very quickly. It's a problem.
No, it's not. Never been a problem with me. But
Oh, no, not with that person.
anyways, back
you
to
were asking about,
back to the point.
can
But
we
I was in the
transition?
kitchen this week. The air, well, actually, the range was on the left, the sink was on the right, so you got multiple. I mean, you got a tight area where there's a lot of traffic right there
Mhm.
during the day, cooking and what have you. And the floors were worn big time. But the rest, and I looked around because I was curious, not because you were on the show. I'm a detail person. I look at stuff, especially if it catches my eye. And it was worn, but it wasn't worn everywhere.
Yep.
Can y'all blend pretty well?
Now, here's the thing. The best way to do it is depending on the direction the boards are running.
Okay.
Yep. So if your boards are running where you can stop on a line as
On
you're
the
going
line
through
of
the
the
door.
boards, yeah.
Yep. Now, the thing is, you want to match the sheen as best you can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. And that's the biggest thing, because if your wear is in the kitchen, but there's not a whole lot of wear where the door is, then you're not blending color necessarily. You got color over here being blended where the wear is
The
near
color
the
ain't
range.
the big challenge, it's the sheen.
Is the sheen at the edge. That's right.
Gotcha.
Now, if your boards are running the other direction, like your boards are going through the doorway, that I give homeowner an option. I tell them we probably don't want to stop there. We want to stop in a more logical cutoff point. So when you got the boards that run where you can follow the line of a board, that makes that job a whole lot easier when you're just stopping on a room.
I hear you. Got it. All right. We got to take a break. It's that time of the show when we take our last and final break of the show. We'll come back and wrap it all up with Ryan Steele from ReCoat Revolution. And I'll talk a little bit about, we talked Nary coming in. We're going to talk about Nary going out because they got a meeting coming up on the 23rd, I believe. I'll check my calendar. And it's going to be at Cambria, which is a solid surface product dealer, and they're having their Halloween party. I'll be out of town Wednesday night, so I won't make it because I'll be getting back in town late that afternoon. But normally I'm at every Nary meeting. Like I say, I met you there.
That's right.
And that's coming up. All right, we're going to take a break here, come back to wrap it all up. Find out how you can get in touch with Mr. Ryan Steele at ReCoat Revolution. And I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that need his service. After listening to him for a couple hours now, I can understand why. Great job, great stuff. Thank you for coming in today, too.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. All right, we're going to be back right after these messages. And if you want to call, it's too late. So we'll be back.
Out more about the show? Go to our Facebook page, About Your House Radio. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
Owens Chimney Systems is known for all professional chimney services since 1989, including chimney cleaning, recommended annually, chimney evaluations and inspections, any and all chimney repairs and restorations, gas fireplace and gas fire log service, furnace cleaning, cleaning out one of the most overlooked appliances in the home, get it done right the first time. That's Owens Chimney Systems at 704-554-9595, or you can visit us online at owenschimneysystems.com.
Go outside and take a look at your home. Are the gutters doing their job? The number one enemy to your home is water. Most homes are built with small, inadequate gutters and small downspouts. ABS Insulating has a division of the company that does nothing but gutter services. All gutter services: cleaning, maintaining, repair, new downspouts, replacement, and new gutters with many types available. They're a leader when it comes to gutter protection. Call ABS Insulating today, 704-821-4343 or absinsulating.com.
Steve Helms here with the Al Metal Dryer Vent Corporation. The Al Metal Dryer Vent Corporation is a full-service dryer vent company. Regardless of the problem, we can handle it. Does your clothes dryer take longer than 45 to 50 minutes to dry a load? If so, you need your dryer vent cleaned or checked. The clothes dryer is the most inefficient appliance in the house and should never take longer than 45 to 50 minutes. Call Al Metal Dryer Vent today at 704-846-8368 or online at almetaldryervent.com. That's 704-846-VENT. Have you cleaned your dryer vent lately?
Have a comment or question for the show? Call us 704-227-8986. That's 704-227-8986. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back. Got Ron Steele in the house today talking ReCoat Revolution. You taught me a lot.
Good.
You did.
Part of my job is education. I think that's the big thing.
That is the biggest part of your job.
It actually is the primary thing. You're right.
And now let's go back to what is that?
Communication.
Thank
Education.
you. Thank you. Communication.
Yeah. Well, making folks aware of what's possible. I mentioned it earlier in the show where I said I think most people's mind when you say redoing floors or restoring floors, they think of sanding. But educating folks on what's possible. I do a bunch of sessions with realtors to let them know, hey, this is what's possible. Let me look at this before and after picture. Don't you look at this before picture? What do you think needs to be done to that? Like, do you feel like it had? I've always told people that need to be sanded. Well, here's the after picture when it wasn't sanded. What? Holy cow. So, and
it's amazing.
I educate the educators. And I think that's where you can a force multiplier there where you can educate the educators to advocate on your behalf and then do good work so that keeps on flowing. But the objective is letting folks know what's possible because so many folks don't know what's possible. Now, the thing is, with solid wood, folks know that sanding is possible and they think that's their restoration option only.
That's what they know. They don't know what they don't know.
When you got LVP, when you've got engineered wood, you got those little veneers on top of some stacks of wood. Those folks think that nothing is possible a lot of the time. So showing them what is possible, that there's restoration options out there. There's so much more engineered wood out there too. But there's so many other solid wood jobs that don't require sanding. And that's the gap in the market that we are filling, are those folks that think they couldn't sand and they didn't, or folks that thought they couldn't restore their floors and they can, or folks that didn't want to endure the sanding challenges, and we fill that gap as well. Yeah.
Great gap, great market, and Charlotte's primo for it because the number one floor in Charlotte Metro is wood. Wood. You ever done a maple floor yet?
Oh, yeah. Maple is one of the ones that I got in the display on Saturday next week. Grade
Cool.
2 maple. Yeah.
Cool. I want to thank Carolina Urban Wood, Damon Barron, for providing the top for the new studio we've got. It's ambrosia maple, cut down right here in the Charlotte metro area. Have you ever been to Carolina Urban Wood, Carolina Urban Wood? Down in Pineville, you need to look them up and go by that store. You like wood, don't you?
Oh, yeah. I know something about wood. I like Woodcraft off on Independence. I like that one, too.
Yeah. We got to get some wood crafters and what have you to come to some Put Tools in Schools events to sit down and address
I got a recommendation for you then. Yeah. We'll talk more about that.
Yes, sir. We've got to get in front of these kids, teaching them about woodworking, because once they don't know what they don't know.
That's true.
They don't.
And some of them think they know everything anyway.
Well, a lot of us do.
I definitely did when I was a kid.
And still do a little bit, because that's natural in men. Wouldn't you say?
I do think it is natural. Yeah. And
called ego.
And then wisdom can start as you absorb more wisdom, you realize, we are imperfect. You're not Superman, it turns out. You aren't bulletproof after all.
Right.
May not be the smartest guy after all. You know what? I think
yeah.
Wisdom.
The older you get.
Yeah.
The older I get. That's why we play Alan Jackson's song. The older I get, the more I don't know.
Smaller the circle of friends gets.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
You have less patience.
Tighter.
But it should be more patience. And I am much more patient than I used to be. I have to be. But why would that be, Ryan? Why do you think that is? I have to be patient.
Well,
I'm gonna be a little hard here.
You're a busy guy. You're an active guy. You got a lot going on.
Yeah.
Everybody needs patience, regardless of what your justification is.
But stupid has become so prevalent to no one's fault other than our education system in this country that's what's increased my patience, because you can't let it get to you anymore, because they can't take the criticism. And there's another part of my passion and intensity to teach, right? Should I be quiet or should I tell the truth? The truth is just telling it like it is.
Yeah.
Not well received these days, is it?
Not as much as it should be.
That's right.
Some people are afraid of it.
Well, I appreciate you coming in. How would you recommend that people get in touch with ReCoat Revolution?
Yeah. Well, we were talking about the internet.
Hold on one sec before we go there. There is a North Charlotte ReCoat Revolution.
There's a couple of them. I actually am the guy opened up one in Rock Hill as well. So I'm sandwiched in between a couple of locations. I am the South Charlotte location. Some of they're good friends of mine on the North Charlotte location. Both of us service all of the Charlotte
Metro.
All of the Charlotte metro area. Correct.
That's what I was going to ask you. Do you have boundaries?
We only have marketing boundaries, so I don't go into anyone else's territory to actively market. But I'm from York County, and I have people. I got a job on Wednesday next week that's up in North Charlotte, and it's just a recommendation that was given.
Sure.
That's how.
So you're not restricted.
We are not restricted for
service.
service.
Do your service.
Our territory is all over, but we market within our own specific territory.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But you are the ReCoat
right
Revolution, South Charlotte.
Correct. ReCoat Revolution, South Charlotte.
Because if you go online and look up ReCoatRevolution.com, you will find locations tab, and you're there, South Charlotte.
Yep. Come find us on South Charlotte on the locations page.
On the location page, Southside. And that would probably be the best way to get in touch.
Yeah. Also, phone number 704-500-0533. I can repeat that as many times as it needs to be. But the
Would you
phone
rather
number,
talk than text?
I would always rather talk than text.
I wish people could get that.
Well, even if the message comes through, so people, you can submit on our website an inquiry. I want
Right.
to talk, and I'll give you a call. We'll talk about your floors and figure out what you guys are looking to do.
That's by far the best. Home show next weekend, booth what?
Home show next weekend, booth number 601.
How many people you going to have there with you?
We're going to have 4 in the booth with us.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I hope it's a great show. Starts at 10 next
Starts
Saturday
at 10,
the
correct.
park.
Starts at 10
Charlotte,
both days.
Charlotte.
It's called the Park Expo Center, but it's right there beside
yeah.
Bojangles Coliseum.
Right. I hear you. Old Bojangles Coliseum. That was a trademark originally. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. I just remember it being the Charlotte Coliseum where Bojangles Coliseum is. I wasn't sure what was beside it.
It was the park. It's now the park, but it used to be it was a trademark, and a lot of different things went in there, more history. But, it's just been a great, great location. Southern shows had Southern Christmas show coming up too.
Yeah.
Hopefully we might be able to get some tickets for giveaway here. And we'll see what happens. One of the most popular shows throughout the year, Southern Christmas Show.
Speaking of giveaways, we're giving away discounts at our booth. So you come in, I think I said that a little bit ago, come in, spin the wheel, whatever it lands on is the discount on your job. And we'll show you all about what we do at the booth.
Well, thanks for coming in today. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
And folks, we need support. PutToolsInSchools.org. We've covered exactly what Put Tools in Schools is all about today. If you were just listening to my friend Ryan Steele, he didn't know what he didn't know, played the college degree routine. Not sorry he did it because he learned a lot.
That's right. That's right.
And throwed a lot of footballs and ran a lot of footballs down the field.
Tackled a lot of guys.
You were more defense in college.
In college, I was defense. I played safety in college.
I got you.
Yeah. I could run better than I could throw.
That works. Hey, but you had a place on the field.
I sure did.
It's a team.
It is.
It takes all of you,
and
just like in business. Right. Team. But go online, PutToolsInSchools.org, volunteer, donate. We need support. And we don't need support for any other reason than to get out in the community, raise the awareness of the many career pathways and opportunities in the construction trades. Now, go make it a great week. Thank you, Ryan, once again. Go spread some love. Really, the answer to all that ails us is love. That's it. Men, step up. We need more fathers.
Amen.
For sure. It makes a big difference in the way we live. So go spread some love, find the elderly, mentor a child, PutToolsInSchools.org. Help us out. Please support. We'll see you next week right here. More love, spreading it all over on About Your House. We'll be back.
Thank you, Ray.